Chapter 181-Empress. For a time, the battle became a white-hot battle, but the three sisters of the Empress did not participate in the battle, but watched the battle between the two sides with complex expressions. They want to make a move, but they can't have the courage to do it. Tisk tisk. Marine and Shichibukai actually fought each other. It's rare. When the two sides were fighting, a voice full of drama suddenly resounded, causing the two sides who were originally fighting to stop temporarily and look at the source of the sound vigilantly. I saw a handsome young man with a knife on his back appearing at the entrance of the hall with a smile on his face. Captain Feng Yi of the Maple Leaf Pirates. After seeing the appearance of Feng Yi, the eyes of the instant killing suddenly shrank. This is the pirate who escaped safely under the capture of Admiral Kuzan. Absolutely terrifying existence. Instant Kill doesn't understand why Feng Yi appeared on Nine Snake Island. Vice Admiral the moment he called out his identity, but looked at the beautiful figure in the distance behind him, Empress. Sure enough, she deserves to be an Empress. Her charming figure and extremely sexy figure instantly ignited the blood on Feng Yi's body. At this time, there was some panic in her eyes, which made her even more amazing, and she wanted to take care of her in her arms. Never allow anyone to hurt. It doesn't matter if you are enemies all over the world. The Empress also saw Feng Yi at this time, and immediately remembered the breath of conqueror haki she had felt before. A light flashed in her eyes. Yes, this is the person that day. The Empress obviously did not expect a person with conqueror haki like her still so young. Damn it, why did the captain of the Maple Leaf Pirates come here at this time? The Empress scolded in her heart, not knowing the purpose of Feng Yi's coming. If she also came with hostility, she would not dare to imagine it. With Tenryubido here, she simply can't fight with 2 layers of strength. Tenryubido also saw Feng Yi walking behind him at this time. He was very annoyed that Feng Yi disturbed him to capture the Empress and made a sarcastic speech. Tenryubido was very annoyed that someone dared to disturb his nature. I don't care which big pirate you are, get out. Get me out of here, or I'll let you know the price you have to pay for offending the nobles of the world. Then Tenryubido said gloomily to Feng Yi. Hey, so there's a Tenryubido here. Feng Yi saw Tenryubido's voice, he couldn't help sneering, and pretended that he had only discovered the other party. Imposing Feng Yi noticed that Tenryubido was present from the very beginning. It seems that the Empress is really afraid of Tenryubido. Feng Yi whispered in his heart at the same time. He could clearly sense the panic in the Empress's heart at this time. But this is better. I was worried about how to get the Empress favor. Now I'll save my troubles. Just beat Tenryubido in front of the Empress. Then Feng Yi was secretly Isho in his heart. In the original book, Feng Yi didn't know if Tenryubido also made troubles on Nine Snake Island, but this time he happened to hit him, and he didn't know if it was Tenryubido's bad luck or Feng Yi's luck. Blast! As for offending Tenryubido, Feng Yi is not afraid. Tenryubido is scum in his eyes. Ha ha. Well, this is the first time someone dares to shout the word, fuck, in front of me. With your courage, I'll make you die a little ugly later. Then Feng Yi looked at Tenryubido, ha, Isho, and looked at Tenryubido with murderous eyes, nothing false. Coming to this pirate world and gaining a powerful strength, how could Feng Yi tolerate Tenryubido's tone just now? Quiet. After Feng Yi's words fell, the palace was so silent for a while that the needles could be heard falling. Everyone looked at Feng Yi in shock. He didn't expect Feng Yi to dare to say such a thing and want Tenryubido to die. That is the world noble Tenryubido. Even the big pirates in the New World dare not threaten to kill Tenryubido. Does Feng Yi know what he is talking about? God, what did he say? He wants Tenryubido to die. The Empress was shocked at this moment. She stared at Feng Yi in a stunned manner. At this time, Feng Yi's image in her eyes was so tall. Even if Feng Yi did not dare to act, just daring to say these words left an indelible impression on the Empress. Ha ha, good boy, someone dares to talk to me like this. It seems that in addition to capturing the Empress as a slave today, another one will be added. Tenryubido is always on top wherever he goes. When was he threatened like this? he didn't laugh in anger, and sneered at Feng Yi. Kill Vice Admiral in an instant, so is this damn Feng Yi, take him down for me too, I want to make him my slave. Then Tenryubito gave another gloomy order to the instant kill Vice Admiral. To kill Vice Admiral in an instant, the black line on his forehead appeared again. He couldn't handle a female emperor, and if he came back to Feng Yi, he really regarded him as an admiral. And just when the instant killing Vice Admiral was hesitating whether to continue to shoot, Feng Yi had already moved. Hearing that Tenryubito wanted to enslave him, it's no wonder that Feng Yi is not angry. I didn't want you to die, but this time it's you who seeks to die. Feng Yi gave Tenryubito a cold look, and then his body burst up. His aura was completely suppressed against Tenryubito. The rein in his hand carried a consonant sword energy, and he directly slashed towards Tenryubito. No hesitation at all. Ah! For a time, everyone's eyes widened, and they couldn't believe that Feng Yi really did something to Tenryubito. Watching the rain and dew in Feng Yi's hands exude a fierce cold light that keeps expanding in his eyes, Tenryubito's eyes also shrank instantly. He didn't even think that Feng Yi would actually dare to do something to him. Looking at his posture, it's just killing him. This fucking lunatic. Tenryubito cursed out in his heart. Regarding Feng Yi's behavior, he could only attribute Feng Yi to a madman who would never die. Those who dare to kill Tenryubito have never been able to continue to live. But he doesn't worry about whether he will be killed after Feng Yi. He is worried about his own life at this time. No, it is his extremely noble life. This fucking lunatic. Chapter 182-kill in an instant. In addition to Tenryubito, another person present also scolded the same thing in his heart when he saw it. That is, he killed Vice Admiral in an instant. He couldn't watch Tenryubito be killed by Ban Yi, otherwise he would not be able to live. Whoosh. Realized that Tenryubito was in danger, he killed Vice Admiral in an instant and quickly blocked Tenryubito in front of Tenryubito. Although he also hated the Tenryubito in front of him, it was impossible to watch the opponent get killed by blocking leaves. Tenryubito's life is his life. When Tenryubito dies, he must be buried with him. Iron block. Boom. Feng Yi's incomparable attack was fierce, slashing at the body that killed Vice Admiral in the moment, but the iron block was used to kill Vice Admiral in the moment, but it sounded with a bang, and the whole body was not injured, just the marine in front of him. Clothes are torn. The figure also took 2 steps backwards. Go away. Marine Vice Admiral standing in front of him, Feng Yi's eyes flashed with coldness, he snorted coldly at the other side, his arrogant aura surged out, and by the way, he rushed to kill Vice Admiral on the opposite side. Killing Vice Admiral in an instant only felt the surrounding air stagnate for a while and became heavier. He couldn't help being terrified. Feng Yi, who was facing him, was several times more terrifying than the Empress just now. How could this be possible? Humph. Then he snorted when he killed Vice Admiral in an instant, in order to attack Feng Yi's aura suppressing him, and then shouted at Feng Yi urgently. Captain Feng Yi, it's too late for you to stop now. Don't forget that behind me is the world noble, Tenryubito, you can't afford to offend me. Instant kill Vice Admiral said eagerly to Feng Yi. If he could say if Feng Yi didn't take action against Tenryubito, then it would be better, otherwise he really doesn't know how to end today's affairs. You idiot, even if I'm willing to stop now, do you think the pig behind you will let me go? Feng Yi Wenyan glanced at Vice Admiral with an idiot-like look, and then spoke to him contemptuously. Dao, those eyes were clearly laughing at the ignorance of the instant killing. You. Hearing Feng Yi's words, the eyes of Vice Admiral flashed crimson in an instant. He was not a warm-hearted person. He was decisive in killing. It's just death, it's better to die if you get so suffocated. You are courting death. Others are afraid of you, Captain Feng Yi, but I don't take you seriously. Then he killed Vice Admiral in a cold voice to Feng Yi. His temperament suddenly changed dramatically. He was still embarrassed and panicked just now, but now his eyes are full of sternness and determination, and his aura has become more powerful. Stand up. Boom. Rankyaku, Tempest Kick. Then he killed Vice Admiral in an instant, and without waiting for Feng Yi to attack, he took the initiative to shoot at Feng Yi. A strong chi kicked out from his right foot in an instant, and shot towards Feng Yi, regardless of speed or power. Is much stronger than before. Shanisha knew that if he didn't defeat Feng Yi today, Tenryubito would suffer, and he would be finished, so he just didn't think about anything, just tried his best to defeat Feng Yi in front of him. Good. Seeing the fierce attack from instant-killing Vice Admiral, Feng Yi applauded, and then killed Vice Admiral at the instant he felt. Before Feng Yi felt that his momentum had been holding back, this time it was instant killing. The true strength of Vice Admiral. With the strength of the opponent, it must be the top among all Vice Admirals. Feng Yi didn't dare to be too careless. The opponent had already performed the 3 moves in Marine Rokushiki in front of him, and it was still very easy. Bloodthirsty fangs. After Feng Yi applauded, a red sword beam slashed towards the attack that killed Vice Admiral in an instant. Boom. Kai. Rankyaku Tempest kick issued by Vice Admiral's instant kill was disintegrated by Feng Yi's slash. Kai. However, Feng Yi's attack did not stop pulling down. The rain in his hand exuded a faint red sword energy, and he continued to slash towards the instant-killing Vice Admiral. Iron block. Seeing that Feng Yi was so relaxed, he disintegrated his attack, and the face of killing Vice Admiral in an instant couldn't help sinking again, and he became suspicious. He snorted inwardly, and hurriedly cast the iron block. He didn't dare to dodge. If Tenryubito was behind him, if he dodged, he would kill Vice Admiral instantly, and Feng Yi would definitely take Tenryubito behind him. Bit got chopped. Humph. Seeing that instant-kill Vice Admiral cast iron block again, Feng Yi couldn't help snorting coldly. In the sword energy of the slash, the powerful Conqueror Haki was instantly fused into it. Haki could even damage the Logia Devil Fruit elementalization. Feng Yi couldn't believe that he couldn't break the iron block defense that instantly killed Vice Admiral. Boom. Clang. With a bang, the rain and dew in Feng Yi's hand slashed at the body who killed Vice Admiral in an instant, but it was the sound of swords colliding. Puff. But at the same time, there was also the sound of the muscle that killed Vice Admiral being slashed. Feng Yi watched with satisfaction as he slashed a wound that was neither shallow nor deep on his chest. A blood arrow suddenly shot from instant-kill Vice Admiral's chest sprayed out. Humph. The middle of the instant killing, he groaned in pain, and he stepped back 2 steps in disbelief, almost hitting Tenryubito. The instant-killing Vice Admiral couldn't believe it. He was actually cut by Feng Yi after he cast the iron block. You must know that in Marine Rokushiki, his strongest is the iron style. Give you one more chance. Get out. Eyes were full of arrogance and contempt, and he glanced at Vice Admiral who was full of shock. The Yulu in Feng Yi's hand pointed at him, and said lightly. As for Tenryubito who killed Vice Admiral in an instant, after seeing Feng Yi so strong, his face turned pale with fright. When he heard Feng Yi's words, his pupils shrank even more. Impossible. Although he wanted to kill Vice Admiral in an instant, but if he did, Tenryubito would be dead as if he were killed, so to kill Vice Admiral in an instant, he could only grit his teeth and face Feng Yi. Humph. Then die. Feng Yi also snorted coldly when he heard the words, and the rain in his hand was once again slashing towards Vice Admiral, who was actually courting death. Of course Feng Yi succeeded. Very happy. Bloodthirsty fang broken. Kai. A blood-red slash, and with a chirp, Kokong slashed towards the middle of the instant killing. Iron block. There was no way to dodge Vice Admiral at the moment, so he could only cast the slash of the iron block that seals the leaves again. Puff. Just like the result just now, although killing Vice Admiral instantly blocked Feng Yi's attack, another wound was cut out on his body, and blood splashed again. Humph. Chapter 183-depressed. Instant kill Vice Admiral groaned, and stood firm, without retreating again. However, at the corner of the mouth that killed Vice Admiral in an instant, this time it was a drop of blood. Don't mention how depressing it was to kill Vice Admiral in an instant. Tenryubito was behind him, and he couldn't dodge. Although his iron blocks were powerful, if he took a dozen more hits, he would definitely be killed by Feng Yi. Aggrieved, extremely aggrieved, he can only passively stand there and take Feng Yi's attack, but he has no ability to fight back. If he attacks, if Feng Yi dodges and fights back, his defense will be even weaker, and the defeated Sudoku will only be faster. As the skin quite thick. Seeing this, Feng Yi couldn't help sneering, but Yulu in his hand was not polite to the other party. Hockey cut. Bloodthirsty fangs. Crazy slash. Greeted the person who killed Vice Admiral in an instant with a sword skill. However, even so, killing Vice Admiral tenaciously stood in front of Feng Yi, just not hurting the Tenryubido behind Feng Yi. Feeling the tenacity in Vice Admiral's heart, Feng Yi couldn't help but admire him. Pause the attack in the hand. Give you a chance to live, leave Marine and become a pirate, how about that? You know that if you keep going, you'll have to die under my sword. Don't you think it's not worth dying for such a shitty Tenryubido? Feng Yi looked at the instant-killing Vice Admiral and said lightly. Such a talent would definitely be good to be hired as a subordinate. However, this must be based on the premise that the other party is willing to surrender and join the pirates. If the other party does not agree, Feng Yi will not be polite anymore, and promises to cut the other party with one knife. Hearing Feng Yi's words, Vivi, who killed Vice Admiral in an instant, obviously trembled. That's right, he doesn't want to die. And the only way not to die is to abandon Marine and become a pirate. Otherwise, he died in Feng Yi's hands, or if something happened to Tenryubido, he would die with him. Even if he returned to the Marine headquarters, he would be sentenced to death because of Tenryubido's anger. Marine's darkness, he is very clear. Kill Vice Admiral in an instant, you dare. As long as I lose a hair, you will be dead. Even if you join the pirates, you will be killed by the wrath of our Tenryubido. Setsuna Vice Admiral could answer. Tenryubido roared at Setsuna Vice Admiral right behind him. Anyway, it's better to die than to be killed now. Killing Vice Admiral turned his head and said a word to Tenryubido with blood from the corner of his mouth, and then dodged and left, exposing Tenryubido in front of Feng Yi. You. Seeing the instant-killing Vice Admiral leaving, Tenryubido's eyes became even more frightened, and he said angrily to the instant-killing Vice Admiral, he didn't know what to do if he wanted to curse, because Feng Yi had already come to his place. In front of you, the attack comes at the same time. Don't pretend to be pure. I know you are a fruit person. If you don't want to die, just keep pretending. To everyone's surprise, when Feng Yi attacked Tenryubido, he sneered at the same time. Everyone present was stunned when they heard the words, Tenryubido is also a fruit person. The Empress's heart also jumped in shock. It was enough to see Feng Yi dare to do something to the Empress. At the same time, she was extremely excited. It would be great if Tenryubido was really killed. Seeing a Tenryubido killed with her own eyes, she will not be so afraid of Tenryubido in the future. However, before she could see the result, she waited for the news that Tenryubido was also a fruit person. This if Feng Yi couldn't beat Tenryubido, then she wouldn't dare to resist Tenryubido. At this moment, how much the Empress hoped that Feng Yi would kill Tenryubido. Killing Vice Admiral in an instant is even more regretful. If Tenryubido had revealed that he was also a fruit person earlier, he would not have let it go. However, the thought of killing Vice Admiral was just a flash in his mind. He just gave his life so hard, but Tenryubido never took action. Obviously, he didn't take his life in his heart. He didn't regret much if he wanted to see him die. Who knows how powerful Tenryubido is? In his opinion, 9 times out of 10, he will be killed by Feng Yi, and he has never heard of any Tenryubido being very powerful. They are just noble. Haha, how did you know that I'm a fruit person? And Fang Buddha verified Feng Yi's words. Tenryubido was haha isho after hearing Feng Yi's words. The fear in his eyes completely disappeared, replaced by a proud look. His aura changed suddenly. If he was a person who was afraid of death just now, he is now an arrogant person who despises everything. Tenryubido then stood up straight, facing Feng Yi's slash. He didn't dodge at all, but allowed Feng Yi's slash to slash on him. Kai. However, when he was about to slash at Tenryubido's, a faint silver light shone on Tenryubido's body, and then Feng Yi's slashed at Tenryubido's body. Kai. Feng Yi's slashed on Tenryubido's body, but Tenryubido did nothing at all. On the contrary, after a second, Feng Yi's slash disappeared, and a silver slash without warning came from Tenryubido just now. The slashed body is reflected. Boom to Feng Yi. Boom. Feng Yi's eyelids also jumped, and he quickly blocked it with a horizontal knife. He couldn't help but take a step back. The slash reflected by Tenryubido was actually stronger than his slash. However, how the other party attacked, Feng Yi didn't notice at all. Rebound fruit. Haha, that's right, the rebound fruit. The most powerful fruit of the Paramesha fruit. Hearing Feng Yi's words, Tenryubido couldn't help laughing proudly. And when I heard Tenryubido's admission, the expressions of Vivi who killed Vice Admiral and the Empress in an instant changed their expressions. Obviously, I had heard of the power of the rebound fruit, but I didn't expect it to appear in Tenryubido's hands. The rebound fruit appeared in the hands of a Marine Admiral decades ago. Unexpectedly, after that admiral died, the rebound fruit was actually collected by Tenryubido. At that time, the admiral was very famous, and many pirates over 100 million were defeated by him. A super strong Marine Admiral. If the ability to bounce fruit appears in Tenryubido, is he as powerful as the previous admiral? If so, with Feng Yi's bounty strength of over 100 million, he shouldn't be able to defeat Tenryubido. Then trouble. Instant killing Vice Admiral was worried that the Empress did not want to see Feng Yi defeated. She was captured by Tenryubido back then. Fortunately, she was young and Tenryubido was disdainful of dealing with slaves and kept her virginity. She had kept her virginity for so many years, but she didn't want to be ruined by her most hated Tenryubido. The strongest in Paramesha, Humph. Chapter 184-Rebound Fruit. Feng Yi heard that he just sneered. Then he said lightly to Tenryubido with contempt. Then I'll show you who is the strongest among the Paramesha fruits. Body of Rage, come out. Then Feng Yi gave a low voice to Tenryubido, and a bit with a red anger all over his body immediately emerged from Tenryubido's body and appeared beside Tenryubido. Ah! Seeing a clone of himself appearing on his body, Tenryubido was finally surprised. But it was only Vivi's surprise, and he didn't take his body of anger to heart. Go, use the strongest moves to deal with him. Feng Yi then ordered Bit's body of anger. However, something strange happened to Feng Yi. Tenryubido's angry body actually didn't obey Feng Yi's orders, and there was no reaction at all after Feng Yi's words fell. Haha, it's useless, my rebound fruit can rebound everything, and your ability has also been rebounded by me. Now my clone is of course under my control. Seeing Feng Yi's stupefied expression, Tenryubido couldn't help laughing. Feng Yi raised his brows when he heard this, and was really surprised. He didn't expect that the rebound fruit could even bounce back his emotions. Feng Yi found that he was on Tenryubido at this time, and he couldn't even sense the mood swings. Was bounced back. Damn it, the power of this fruit is really tough. Feng Yi cursed inwardly. Originally, he didn't know if he could defeat a Tenryubido, but now he has added a helping hand of the same strength to the other party. Isn't this shooting himself in the foot? Feng Yi is very depressed. Then I don't need him. On the surface, however, Feng Yi still shouted at Tenryubido coldly, and then waved his knife to attack Tenryubido. No matter how strange and powerful the opponent's ability is, it's best to understand through combat. Among them, discover the shortcomings of the opponent's fruit ability. Kai. After speaking, Feng Yi's figure slashed at Tenryubido with fierce rain and dew. Whoosh. Feng Yi moved. Tenryubido's angry body stood in front of Feng Yi. This is the same. To understand the enemy's abilities and weaknesses, the body of anger is exactly the same. Feng Yi chuckled lightly, and the attack in his hand was a slashing slash on Tenryubido's body of anger. Bloodthirsty fangs. Laugh. The ghostly attack slashed at Tenryubido's angry body in an instant, but the surface of the opponent's body was only a flash of silver light, and a sword energy stronger than Feng Yi's attack bounced from the place where it was cut. Out. Boom. The rain and dew in Feng Yi's hands were immediately bounced off, and Feng Yi's figure also stepped back a few steps and went out. When other people on the island saw Feng Yi suffer, their expressions changed slightly, especially when the Empress and Shanna killed Vice Admiral. Humph. However, Feng Yi didn't change much, he was only shaken back, he wasn't injured at all. After a cold snort, Feng Yi attacked Tenryubido's angry body again. Bang bang bang. Chi chi chi. Feng Yi's slashes continued, but every time the slash attacked the opponent, it would bounce back and reflect Feng Yi with a stronger attack than the original. It makes Feng Yi fight look quite embarrassed, but in fact Feng Yi is not injured at all. Ha ha, now you know how powerful the rebound fruit is. Tenryubido couldn't help laughing when he saw Feng Yi's embarrassed appearance there. You guys, immediately go up and catch the Empress for me, or I'll treat you as betraying Marine like your Vice Admiral. Then Tenryubido ordered the Marines. Hearing Tenryubido's words, those Marines didn't hesitate much and immediately attacked the Empress, but they were intercepted again by the female warriors of the 9 snake pirates. The melee starts again. This time, the 3 sisters of the Empress still did not do anything, and they did not do it again in the moment of killing. Looking at his original subordinates, his face is complicated. Feng Yi has no interest at all in the battle between the little guys, and Feng Yi is still constantly attacking Tenryubido's body of anger. Boom boom boom. It wasn't until 5 minutes later that the body of anger disappeared, and Feng Yi couldn't find Tenryubido's weakness. Otherwise, all his attacks would be bounced back by the opponent. Damn, it seems that only Nami can restrain him. Feng Yi cursed inwardly and felt aggrieved. After 5 minutes of fighting, he still didn't find the opponent's weakness. During this period, he also knew that he had attacked thousands of times, but he had never succeeded. Tenryubido kept watching from behind with a sneer and contempt. Seal the leaves. A sword chi attack can be rebounded, so can a sword realm attack, so can a hockey attack. What kind of attack can hurt the opponent? Feng Yi began to think quickly in his heart. Yi was immediately taken aback. Fuck, this guy didn't attack once from the beginning to the end, which made me so embarrassed. Wait, didn't shoot once. No active attack once. Feng Yi's originally extremely depressed eyes gradually brightened, and a sneer flashed in his eyes. Looking at Tenryubido and knowing the opponent's weakness, Feng Yi was no longer in a hurry. This can also verify whether his guess is true. Ha ha, how is it? I said that my ability is the strongest fruit in Paramesha. Even if Whitebeard comes, it can't help me. Seeing that Feng Yi didn't continue to do anything, Tenryubido thought that Feng Yi was afraid, and laughed at Feng Yi arrogantly. Humph, it may be the strongest Paramesha fruit to others, but it will only be the weakest in your pig. Feng Yi couldn't help sneering when he heard this. If it were anyone else, even if he killed Vice Admiral in an instant to get this rebound fruit, it might make him the strongest fruit, but in the fat man Tenryubido, the strongest will only become the weakest. There is no strongest fruit of ability, only the strongest user. The ability to bounce back fruit is, to put it bluntly, bounce back all attacks, but if Feng Yi didn't attack the opponent, how could he bounce back? Wouldn't it be useless? Not attacking the opponent is the weakness of the rebound fruit. Chapter 185 The End of Tenryubido. This weakness may be downplayed by others. For example, in the case of instant kill, others do not attack. He can attack himself to create an attack rebound, which is stronger than his own attack. But in the body of Tenryubido, Feng Yi couldn't believe what kind of attack methods Tenryubido himself had. Just look at his pig-like body shape. Humph, only talk big, and beat me if you have the ability. I don't know why, but Tenryubido's heart skipped a beat when he heard Feng Yi's words, and then he continued to contemptuously say to Feng Yi, the weakness of the rebounding fruit has never been known, so he wouldn't be able to find it. Humph, I'll take care of you later. Let you be arrogant first. Feng Yi heard that but sneered at Tenryubito. The other party didn't take action at this time, which further proved that Feng Yi's guess was correct. Yejun ignored Tenryubito, turned around and shouted at the Marines who were fighting and the female warriors of Nine Snake Island. I'm making a lot of noise, stop me. While Feng Yi drank lowly, Conqueror Haki came out in shock at the same time. Boom. After Feng Yi's low drink, both sides of the war felt that they were covered in a burst, and their bodies couldn't be the same. They quickly stopped the movements in their hands and turned to look at Feng Yi in horror. What is Haki? That's all. A low drink can make so many people dare not breathe aloud. The battle that was white hot, suddenly silent, a sharp contrast, the embodiment of Haki. You foolish fellows, Tenryubito is doomed today. Apart from the fact that you have also sentenced Marine to be a pirate like your boss, there is basically no way for you to survive. Let's stand beside your boss now if you're interested, don't get in the way of Lao Su killing Tenryubito. If you don't know the fun, I will kill you now. Seeing that the two sides stopped, Feng Yi chuckled in satisfaction, and then sneered at those Marines. Threatened. Ah. Ah. They heard Feng Yi's words, all the people were shocked, not only the Marines, but also the people from Nine Snake Island. They were shocked by Feng Yi's tone, and they just talked about killing Tenryubito. Haki of Chiguo is not afraid of Tenryubito at all. What they heard before would only mean that Feng Yi is a lunatic and talk big, but Feng Yi's actions just now have been fully explained. Feng Yi is going to kill that Tenryubito. After the Marines heard the words, all their faces were hesitant, and then they all looked at their original boss, Shanna Kill. For a while, I didn't know if I should believe Feng Yi's words. Not only am First Marine, I'm continuing to follow Vice Admiral. No, boss. Me too. After the First Marine started to say his decision, in less than a few seconds, all the Marines decided to judge Marine, and became pirates like instant kill. The female warriors of Nine Snake Island looked at all this in a stunned manner. Unexpectedly, Feng Yi just moved his mouth and turned all their enemies into their own. Of course, the people here just said that everyone is a pirate, a pirate. There will still be battles with the pirates. They are also enemies, but now they all have a common enemy. Haha. Well, you guys are actually following me. I'll definitely take you on a journey at sea, and let everyone know about the existence of our killing pirates. It was the most touching moment to kill Wen Yan. He was still struggling to become enemies with his former subordinates, but all his subordinates chose to be pirates and continue to follow him in the blink of an eye. At the same time, Shanisha also announced one thing, that is, he will form a pirate group by himself, and kill the pirate group. Full of killing Haki's name. Feng Yi heard that the corners of his mouth could not help but curl up slightly. Such a result was what he wanted. But when he recruits the other party to become his pirate group, if Shanshan kills them, Feng Yi won't mind killing them all. Let the killing pirates die in the bud. Bastard. Do you think I don't exist, kid? How dare you despise me like that? At this moment, Tenryubito's voice resounded angrily again. He didn't expect that Feng Yi would not attack him, but instead stopped Marine from fighting the female warriors of Nine Snake Island. In this way, the island is now he is the only one who is not a pirate. This time is not good. Tenryubito felt that something was wrong, especially Feng Yi didn't attack him anymore. So he wants to anger Feng Yi, and anger Feng Yi to take the initiative to attack him, or he will be finished. Hey, you want to provoke me to attack you, so you can let my attack bounce back and attack me. Feng Yi heard the words and looked at Tenryubito and couldn't help but hey isho. Ah. When Tenryubito heard the words, he was shocked and opened his mouth wide. He really didn't expect that Feng Yi had really discovered the weakness of the rebound fruit. This is dangerous for him who has no combat ability other than fruit ability. You, how did you know? Tenryubito murmured in horror. Humph, weren't you very arrogant just now? I made you arrogant. As long as I don't attack you, you are like a toothless tiger. I have a way to kill you. Looking at the surprised Tenryubito, Feng Yi said slowly one by one. After Feng Yi's every sentence fell, the expression on Tenryubito's face became more and more dead. When the Empress and the others heard the words, their eyes flashed for a while, thinking about Feng Yi's words, and seeing Tenryubito's expression, they knew that what Feng Yi said was true. Even if Tenryubito had the rebound fruit, there was nothing to fear. Of course, this refers to Tenryubito's own fighting ability, not his identity, because Tenryubito's identity alone can make them irresistible, and only a strong person like Feng Yi dares to say that he wants to kill Tenryubito. Even if they gave them 100 more courage, they would never dare to attack Tenryubito. It is because of this that they feel inexplicable admiration for Feng Yi in front of them. Humph, even if you know my weakness, it's a fact that you can't attack me. I can bounce back any attack you don't dare, and you can't kill me. The end. Tenryubito snorted coldly at Feng Yi, relying on the strength of the rebound fruit. The fear in his heart was not so strong, and his face was arrogant and complacent again. Looking at Feng Yi contemptuously. Hey, I just said that I have a way to kill you. Feng Yi couldn't help sneering when he heard this. He couldn't kill him if he couldn't attack him. What an international joke. The other party does not have any active means of attack, and killing him is not the same as playing. As long as I take the handcuffs made by Seastone, go up and lock you, I can easily kill you. Chapter 186_Feed the Shark. Then Feng Yi said a way to kill Tenryubito. This method is effective for all fruit power users, but it is more effective for Tenryubito who has no active attack method. You. As soon as he heard Feng Yi's words, Tenryubito looked at Feng Yi in horror. This method can definitely deal with him. Also, as long as I don't attack, I'll tie you up with ordinary ropes and throw you into the sea. You're still going to die. To kill you who have no active attack ability is not as simple as pinching an ant. Seeing Tenryubito terrified, Feng Yi said a few words contemptuously, which immediately made Tenryubito's face even more gray and ugly. Terrified. No, no, you can't kill me. I'm a nobleman of the world. I'm Tenryubito. Tenryubito immediately looked at Feng Yi in horror and stepped back. The nobles of the world. Tenryubito. It's just shit in my eyes. When Feng Yi heard this, he couldn't help but sneer again and again. His tone was full of disdain. He really doesn't care about Tenryubito, even if Tenryubito's power is strong. Captain Empress, can you give me a rope? Then Feng Yi ignored Tenryubito's ugly face, turned around and smiled at the beautiful Empress. Ah. When, of course. Hearing Feng Yi's question suddenly, the Empress couldn't help but let out a surprise. At this time, Feng Yi's smiling face was so different from Haki's side that she just showed, which made her heart tremble inexplicably. He spoke in a murmur, without the usual self-confidence and arrogance. Without the Empress's orders, a female warrior from Nine Snake Island hurriedly handed a rope to the Empress after hearing Feng Yi's conversation with the Empress. Here you are. After getting the rope, the Empress was hesitant and frightened when she looked at Tenryubito, but in the end she threw the rope in her hand to Feng Yi, so she didn't dare to do anything to Tenryubito, but she still had a rope. The guts. Hey, thanks. I forgot to tell you, you are so beautiful. You are the most beautiful woman I have ever seen. Feng Yi took the rope thrown by the Empress, couldn't help but chuckle, and then praise the Empress. The Empress is definitely worthy of everyone's praise. Oh, oh. The Empress couldn't help but murmured when she heard the words. She felt her heart beating suddenly and fiercely a few times. She also knew that she was very beautiful, but just heard Feng Yi's praise. She was still sincerely happy and excited. All the people who praised me in the past have never seen me so happy. The Empress couldn't help but wonder about her emotions in her heart. Seeing the appearance of the Empress, Feng Yi snickered secretly in her heart, and finally succeeded. His strong treatment of Tenryubito made the Empress feel the same way towards him. Besides covering up the secret behind them, the main thing is that the Empress knew that Luffy had beaten Tenryubito away on Sabayati Island. That's when I started to have feelings for Luffy. Tenryubito with pity in his eyes. Feng Yi's mouth was slightly upturned. It was thanks to Tenryubito in front of him that he was able to win the Empress. favor so easily. In return, I'll throw you into the sea for the Sea Kings. Let your bones be left behind, brother is kind enough. Feng Yi murmured in his heart. World nobles, Tenryubito, I'll throw you into the sea right now. Then Feng Yi walked towards Tenryubito and smiled at Tenryubito, saying that it is not an exaggeration to say that it is the smile of the god of death. Don't come here. Ah! Seeing Feng Yi's actions, Tenryubito was finally terrified. He quickly backed away, and turned around and wanted to run away. Whoosh! However, how could Feng Yi let Tenryubito run away? With a set of ropes in his hand, Tenryubito was trapped. Because it was just an ordinary action, Tenryubito's rebound ability was useless, and he was immediately caught by the rope. Ah! Let go of me, you lowly pirate, if you dare to do anything to me, the world government will never let you go. Tenryubito was startled, and then he threatened Feng Yi viciously. He couldn't believe it, Feng Yi really dared to throw him into the sea. Humph, so much nonsense. Come on and see if I dare. Feng Yi heard the words coldly, and after tying Tenryubito's fat body to death, he lifted Tenryubito with one hand, and then he dodged towards the coast of Nine Snake Island. Let's all go and see. The Empress and the others, who killed them in an instant, immediately followed Feng Yi's actions. They were full of excitement to be able to witness a Tenryubito being thrown into the sea to be fed to the Sea Kings. Damn pirates! Ah, let me go, you can't do this to me. Damn, if you don't let me go, you will definitely die. Tenryubito, who was lifted by Feng Yi, was constantly struggling with the ropes on his body, and at the same time, he was furious. The expression on his face became more and more frightened. Even if he had the ability to rebound his emotions, Feng Yi could sense it. Feng Yi didn't pay any attention to Tenryubito's roar, carrying him, and soon came to the coast of Nine Snake Island. Boom! Then closing the leaves is throwing the fat pig Tenryubito on the shore, and under the cliff is the surging sea. Boom! You don't need to look down at all, just hearing the sound of the waves crashing on the cliffs can tell how fierce the sea below the cliffs is. Not to mention a person with the ability to eat a devil fruit, even a person who can swim will definitely not survive falling from above. See, this is your tomb, whether you fall down or die or not, in the end your result can only be the food for the Sea Kings below. Feng Yi stood on the edge of the cliff, and after holding Tenryubito out with one hand, he smiled faintly at Tenryubito. As long as Feng Yi gently let go, Tenryubito's fat body would fall into the rough sea below. Ah! Don't! Please! Never, never, never! I don't want to die yet, I don't want to die yet. You say what you need, as long as you let me go, I can give you anything you want. Chapter 187 threw it down. Facing Feng Yi's words, looking at the sea below, Tenryubito was really frightened and panicked. He who had never begged anyone again and again opened his mouth to Feng Yi for mercy. The Empress who came over and the others heard Tenryubito begging for mercy, their faces were also stunned. They really never thought that Tenryubito would beg for mercy one day, and it was still in front of them. Tenryubito, who was originally high in their eyes, looked like a dead dog in a state of embarrassment, and they felt very happy in the bottom of their hearts. Really? Then I want your rebound fruit, can you give it to me? Hearing Tenryubito's begging for mercy, Feng Yi's face sneered. What about the nobles of the world? They are not ordinary human beings, and they will be afraid of death. Also begging for mercy. Ah! Hearing Feng Yi's words, Tenryubito immediately screamed in shock. Feng Yi wanted to get the rebound fruit, which was obviously impossible. Unless he was killed, the second rebound fruit would be bred and finally found. Before he dies, there will be no second rebound fruit. In addition to this, I can give you 2 devil fruits if you want, no, 5. As long as you let me go. If you want a devil fruit, I will give you all. Tenryubito knew that Feng Yi was playing with him, but he continued to face Feng Yi without giving up. He didn't believe that Feng Yi could withstand such a temptation. 10 devil fruits are nothing to pirates or marine. Easy thing, but Tenryubito can take it out, and even use it to feed the slaves they bought for testing. Just like the three sisters of the Empress, they were the guinea pigs for Tenryubito and were fed devil fruits. Ask who has the most devil fruits in the world, and that's Tenryubito. Their wealth is so much that they can buy anything, and no one can live with money. They don't know how many treasures they have collected with money. It's a pity that although Tenryubito is noble and powerful, and also has a lot of devil fruit resources, their Tenryubito does not have any strong fighting talents, because Tenryubito is used to enjoying it, and he will not fight and kill at all. Generally, there is no such thing. Practical experience. Hey, I can only regret if I don't get it. If I want other fruits, I can find them myself, I don't need to get them from you. Feng Yi couldn't help sneering when he heard this, and then his right hand was gently loosened in Tenryubito's wide eyes. Ah! No! Tenryubito screamed in horror like killing a pig, and the sound resounded directly from the cliff. Until it is submerged by the sea. Silent, watching Tenryubito being thrown into the sea by Feng Yi to feed the sea kings like this, Empress and Shanna kill, although they heard the sound of the rumbling seawater, they still felt that the world was silent, and it was Tenryubito who was killed. They looked at Feng Yi with admiration without exception. Maybe Feng Yi was just talking about it before, but now they saw Tenryubito being thrown into the sea by Feng Yi. It's no wonder that you don't admire Feng Yi. Thump, thump. The Empress looked at Feng Yi, and felt that her heart was constantly accelerating. She didn't even know why she did this. Seeing Tenryubito smashed into the sea, Feng Yi turned around and looked back at the Empress and killed them in an instant. Dead. Tenryubito is really dead. Feng Yi then secretly said in his heart, and his mood was slightly excited. Killing a Tenryubito, even Feng Yi, an entrepreneur, would be excited. Feng Yi had already sensed that Tenryubito's emotional fluctuations had completely disappeared, which proved that Tenryubito was either dead or in a coma. No matter which one, it proved that Tenryubito was dead. Then Feng Yi came directly in front of Instant Kill, looking at Instant Kill with a killing aura all over his body, nodded secretly, resolute and determined, murderous enough, more like the image of a pirate. It is perfect to be a pirate. Snake Kill. My pirate group is currently short of manpower. Do you know if your pirate group is interested in becoming the pirate group of our Maple Leaf Pirates? Looking at the Instant Kill, Feng Yi asked directly at him. Looking at him lightly, a cold light flashed, and the powerful Haki was also released with a bang, and the huge Conqueror Haki alone suppressed and killed a person in an instant. Boom! Instant Kill only felt a loud bang all over their body, and then the surrounding air was frozen. He felt that his body was struggling, and it was difficult to raise his hand. Teru Mei's Haki is so powerful. Okay, even if you don't say it, I will ask to join the Maple Leaf Pirates. Immediately after that, Killing replied, without any hesitation. He is not an idiot. He knew that Feng Yi wanted to recruit him when he knew that Feng Yi wanted him to be a pirate. However, he established a pirate group, so becoming a pirate group under the Maple Leaf Pirates was his only choice. Because of Tenryubito's death, it is absolutely impossible for him to break away from the relationship, and Tenryubito killed Zhao Kong again. Joining the banner of Dao Fengye is the best choice. Even if Tenryubito wants revenge, he will find Maple Leaf first. Pirates, find Feng Yi first. Is there something Feng Yi is standing there? If even Feng Yi was taken out for revenge, then with his strength, he would definitely not be able to escape, so he could only rely on Feng Yi. Ha ha, good. Those who know the current affairs are Junji. Feng Yeke doesn't care why Shan Sushin joins his banner, as long as he joins, he immediately haha Isho. Captain Feng Yi, you will be our boss from now on. Instant Kill. Wen Yan felt helpless. Isho, he had no choice at all, but he was very proud to be the pirate group under the Maple Leaf Pirates, of course not because of Feng Yi's bounty of less than 200 million. But because Feng Yi was a pirate who dared to kill Tenryubito. I believe that after the news spread, Feng Yi's reputation must have become even louder, and the Instant Killing can already foresee the rise of Feng Yi. Of course, in the process of rising, he will definitely be chased and killed by countless Marines, and he will be in a very dangerous stage, but he believes that Feng Yi can rise in adversity, and the conqueror Haki on Feng Yi is the one he feels most strongly, one person, stronger than the legendary Vice Admiral Garp. He had felt the Haki released by Garp before, so he had this confidence in Feng Yi. Instant kills and forgets that the conqueror Haki released from Garp's body is only within the range, and what Feng Yi makes him feel is that Feng Yi completely suppresses Haki on him alone. Let him feel suppressed by Haki who is stronger than Garp. But even if he knew it, there was nothing he could do. It was impossible for him not to join the Maple Leaf Pirates. "Boss, what should we do after we kill the pirates?" After that, Mo Shanxiao asked Feng Yi. As a pirate group, the general action is of course decided by the captain of the Maple Leaf Pirates. Chapter 188-Seal Leaf Boss. Even if you want them to move freely, it's a decision. You can move freely for the time being. When I enter the new world, I will call you in together. Feng Yi smiled when he heard this, and he had already made plans for the future. "Yes, boss." Instantly, he responded excitedly when he heard the words. In addition to being able to move freely, the most important thing was that he obtained the information of more than one pirate group of the Maple Leaf Pirates from Feng Yi's words, which proved that Feng Yi also the future is really promising, and before entering the new world, there is already more than one pirate group under it. "Yes, boss Feng Yi. Those Marines, no, now they should be the crew members of the Sha 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 Pirates," and they shouted at Feng Yi excitedly after Mosanasha opened his mouth. They are also very proud to be members of the pirate group under the daily limit. "Kill the instant, I don't have any devil fruit to give you right now, you can only find or grab it by yourself. But I can help you awaken Haki. As for how many of you can awaken, it depends on your ability." Feng Yi looked at the kill pirates who would be his team in the future, and then opened his mouth to Shanasha, shocking them as soon as he opened his mouth. "Ah! What? Help us awaken Haki. Am I right?" The members of the instant-killing pirates all know the existence of Haki and how difficult it is to awaken Haki, but Feng Yi in front of them can actually help them awaken Haki. They have never heard of it, all of them. The mood is full of shock and surprise. If true, it would be awesome. "Boss, is this true?" Shanasha also muttered to Feng Yi and asked, "This ability is really amazing." The queen next to her was not too surprised, because they grew up on Nine Snake Island, and every female warrior on Nine Snake Island was able to cast Haki, so they didn't feel too strong about Haki. Unless Feng Yi helped them awaken by playing a Haki, but this is obviously impossible. "Just try it yourself and see if it's real." Feng Yi heard the words of Isho, and everyone's surprised expressions. He had already foreseen. No matter who heard his rhetoric for the first time, they all looked like they were so dumbfounded. Boom! After the words were finished, the huge Haki on Feng Yi's body suppressed the instant killing, and instantly stunned the instant killing in his Haki. "Under my Haki, feel it yourself, what kind of Haki you can awaken is up to you." Feng Yi used Haki to suppress the instant kill. He slowly opened his mouth and said to him. While talking, Feng Yi's emotional fruit ability also worked quickly, and Feng Yi's emotions, such as instant killing, anger, bravery, killing, etc., that could be the key to awakening Haki, were strengthened to the extreme by Feng Yi. Under the suppression of Feng Yi's Haki, coupled with the strengthening of all emotions, the expression on the face of the instant killing became extremely exciting, and the emotion was strengthened so strongly that the instant killing did not know whether it was in pain or excitement and screamed in the sky. Boom! However, in this state of stimulating Haki's awakening, instant kill did not disappoint Feng Yi. In just 10 minutes, Haki in instant kill was ignited and awakened by Feng Yi. Not beyond Feng Yi's expectations, the one who awakened by instant kill was Armament Haki, who matched him. When he really felt his Haki awakening, Shanasha couldn't believe the facts in front of him. Haki, who had never awakened despite his hard work, was awakened with the help of Feng Yi. I am even more grateful and supportive of Feng Yi. At first, I joined the Maple Leaf Pirates because I had no choice but to do so, but now I am willing and convinced. Ha ha. Rankyaku, Tempest Kick. Instant kill haha Isho. The next move Rankyaku, Tempest Kick with Armament Hockey. S blessing, smashed a boulder in front of it with a bang. Although the power is a little stronger than before, I can't even see it, but Instant Kill is still very excited. He has just awakened Hockey. When the use is mature, he believes that his strength will double and grow. Okay, it's your turn, let's see how many of you can awaken Hockey. Feng Yi saw Vivi Isho, then turned to the remaining members and said. In a word, all the crew members of the Shasha pirates stopped breathing and looked forward to it with excitement. Facts have proved that Marine's quality is still very good, especially those Marines who can follow the instant kill to the Great Voyage Road. Under Feng Yi's emotional strengthening, everyone has awakened Hockey, although they are armament Hockey, but it is also very amazing. There are a total of 100 members on board, and all of them have awakened armament Hockey. After that, Su Moxie took everyone away with Feng Yi's signal. Marine's warship was also regarded as a pirate ship by them. Once the flag of Marine was changed, it became a pirate flag. Instant Kill just painted a skull's head on the Marine flag, followed by a few scarlet knife marks, representing the will to kill, and directly implying the killing of Marine. Instant Kill is also to completely separate yourself from the Marine, psychologically completely separate from the Marine, and the same is true for the subordinates. That's why this pirate group is used. Among all the pirate flags, it can be regarded as a precedent. There is no one before, there will be someone later. I didn't even think that Shanshan killed himself. When his killing pirates became famous all over the world, many emerging pirates robbed a marine ship, and then used the marine flag to change it into a pirate flag. It's so Hockey. Marine's glory has also been trampled to perfection. What's your purpose in coming to Nine Snake Island? After Shanna Kill and others left, the Empress asked Feng Yi. At this time, the Empress no longer had panic and fear in her eyes, and her confidence and arrogance came back again, which made her beautiful and glamorous. The Queen looks even more glamorous and unparalleled. Breathtaking scent. It is necessary for the Empress to find out why Feng Yi appeared on Nine Snake Island. If she was to rescue her, she would not believe it if she was killed. Although she was grateful to Feng Yi for killing Tenryubito, for the dignity and safety of Nine Snake Island, she must have figured it out. That. Can I not say it? Feng Yi hesitated when he heard the words, and then said to the Empress. Looking at the Empress, Feng Yi found that his heart was beating fast, before Feng Yi deliberately let his eyes not pay attention to the Empress, because he was afraid of instantly killed them and made a fool of themselves, and now that they have all left, Feng Yetzai carefully looked at the Empress in front of him, and suddenly became excited. The Pirate Queen, his favorite pirate heroine. Chapter 189_Queen's Style. No, Empress must know about it. The Empress rejected Isho, and then turned to Feng Yi with a faint Isho. In an instant, the charming charm radiated from the Empress. The proud self-confidence of her beauty was too beautiful. The Empress is the real Empress. The temperament of the Empress just now did not radiate at all. Because of Tenryubito's relationship, now that Tenryubito is dead, the Empress has gradually recovered her original unique temperament. Well, I was chased by Kuzan, and I came here out of nowhere. Seeing the appearance of the Empress, Feng Yi had no choice but to look like Isho, and then said. If he could, he really didn't want the Empress to know that he came to Nine Snake Island in such an embarrassed way. But he didn't want to deceive or hide the Empress. Facing the goddess in his mind, Feng Yi has no scheming. Marine Admiral Kuzan. Empress couldn't help Vivi's surprise when she heard the words. She didn't expect that Feng Yi was chased by Admiral Kuzan and fled here, but the Empress frowned slightly. The Guardian Sea Kings pulling the boat, or Marine's latest sailing technology, there is no way to come to Nine Snake Island. But since Feng Yi can appear here, that means Feng Yi must have this ability, so she will not ask any more. What's more, in her heart, she didn't want to be unhappy with Feng Yi, and she didn't know it for no reason. Hey, I didn't expect to be on the island of the Nine Snakes pirates, and I saw the #1 beauty in the world. It seems that I have to be grateful to Kuzan. Seeing the surprised look of the Empress, Feng Yi couldn't help Isho again. Feng Yi really did not expect that he would meet the Empress so quickly. I wonder if I have the honor to go to the Empress's palace to take a good look at it. Then Feng Yi continued to smile at the Empress. Of course. Empress is also grateful to you for killing Tenryubito. Empress is not without your courage, and really dared to kill him. Isho immediately, a strange look flashed in her eyes, and when Feng Yi killed Tenryubito, she felt inexplicably excited. Up to now, she still can't believe it, and there are still people who dare to kill Tenryubito's opponents. Feng Yi chatted with the Empress all the way, and returned to the Empress' palace again. Feng Yi said that walking with the Empress is really stressful. No matter from which angle the Empress looks so glamorous and sultry, Feng Yi has to keep downplaying his excitement that has been getting more and more boiling. However, Feng Yi also said that this kind of feeling is really cool. Being next to the Empress, you can keep lusting over each other in your mind. Imagine how slender the willow waist is under the clothes, how upturned the fragrant buttocks are, especially if the majestic pear on the chest would pop out, how magnificent and splendid it would be. Feng Yi felt the chicken moving. Calm down. Feng Yi quickly downplayed his excitement, otherwise he would definitely not be able to stand tall. If the Empress knew that Feng Yi's thoughts were so lewd next to her, maybe her goodwill towards Feng Yi would soon disappear without a trace. Fortunately, the Empress didn't know, otherwise Feng Yi would have vomited blood. Along the way, Feng Yi was also constantly thinking about how to get the Empress to take control. The current Empress just has a good impression of him, not to the point of liking him. In the original book, Luffy didn't do anything, just helped the Empress and the others to clear the siege once, and this time I saved the Empress even more. The Empress knew that Luffy beat up Tenryubito, and I killed a Tenryubito. That's enough, no need to do anything else. The action is done. As long as you stay on the Nine Snake Island for a few days and then leave, I can know immediately if the Empress has any feelings after I leave. Feng Yi smiled secretly in his heart. He didn't want the Empress to no longer have feelings for him because of his excessive behavior. Wait. I almost forgot, Luffy has seen the delicate body of the Empress in the original book. Feng Yi's figure suddenly stopped, and he almost forgot about it. Dizzy. I can't accidentally fall into the place where the Empress was bathing. How can I see the Empress' carcass? Feng Yi then immediately had a headache. Sorry, I've been stuck for a few days, no inspiration. Captain Feng Yi. When following the Empress back to the palace, a beautiful figure screamed and rushed towards Feng Yi. It was Nuaokie. She had been worried about Feng Yi's safety before, and she never knew what happened after Feng Yi entered the palace. Now that she saw Feng Yi, of course, she couldn't help but threw herself into Feng Yi's arms. Even Feng Yi was next to her. The most respected female emperor did not even see it. Feng Yi saw that it was Nokie, and Vivi Isho opened his hands to hold Nokie in his arms. Immediately, Shang was full of arms, and he could clearly feel the pair of chest pieces on Nokie's chest squeezing his chest, which made him feel more comfortable. I've already said I'm fine, but I'm still so worried. After Feng Yi hugged Nokie, Vivi Isho couldn't help it. Knowing that Nokie was worried about him, he couldn't help feeling a little moved. He didn't expect Nokie who was forcibly taken by him, and now he really put his whole heart on him. Of course I am proud of it too. It seems that I can still do this kind of thing a few more times when I meet a beautiful girl in the future. Thinking of evil in his heart, Feng Yi couldn't help but look at the entire palace. Most of the women here are beautiful women. If only I could take the real Nine Snake Island as my own. Nokie. The Empress also spoke up at this time. She recognized Nokie, and she was almost absorbed into the island battle captain of the Nine Snake Pirates in the last assessment. It's just that she didn't expect Nokie to throw herself into Feng Yi's arms, which made her feel a burst of sadness for no reason. Why, seeing Nokie being held by him, I feel a little sour in my heart. Seeing Nuaokie, she also knew that Nuaokie was the captain who was looking for Feng Yi's disappearance. Now that she came back, she thought Nuaokie had been killed by Feng Yi. My Lady Empress. Subordinate Nokie has seen Lady Empress, it's great that you're fine. When Nuaokie saw the Empress, she quickly blushed and broke away from Feng Yi's arms, and immediately saluted the Empress respectfully. Nokie, you and Captain Feng Yi. The Empress murmured and asked Nokie, wanting to know the relationship between Nokie and Feng Yi. Is it the legendary lover relationship? The Empress. That Nokie is already my woman, and I hope I can take her away. Nokie didn't say a word. Feng Yi spoke to the Empress, but he had already taken Nokie, of course he was responsible. Moreover, Feng Yi could clearly perceive a trace of jealousy in the Empress just now, which made him excited. It seemed that it could stimulate the Empress and make her jealous. Of course, when he discovered the Empress's jealous emotions, Feng Yi had already grasped that emotion and slowly strengthened her. No, Nokie is a warrior of Nine Snake Island, and no one from Nine Snake Island can leave here alone. Chapter 190-Empress Jealous. When the Empress heard Feng Yi's words, she felt even more unhappy in her heart, and could not help but refuse. It's the island's rule, and there's nothing Empress can do about it. At the end, the Empress coquettishly said to Feng Yi, she didn't want Feng Yi to be angry with her because of this. Ah! Nokie was really excited when he heard Feng Yi admit in public that it was his woman, but when he heard the words of the Empress, he was immediately disappointed and shocked. I see, then I'll find another person, so that Nokie doesn't leave alone. Is this the head office? Feng Yi couldn't help but be stunned when he heard the words, and then said to the Empress with a smile. Hearing this, it was the Empress's turn and they were stunned. What she said just now couldn't be clearer, that she would not let Nokie leave with Feng Yi, but Feng Yi was playing word games with her, adding one more person would not count left alone. The two of them are really unhappy alone. The Empress didn't know what to answer for a while. The Empress wanted to refuse Feng Yi again, but Feng Yi's handsome figure who threw Tenryubito on the edge of the cliff and loved the sea immediately flashed in his mind. The Empress did not answer, just nodded, and then continued to walk inside. Nodding is tantamount to default. Seeing this, Feng Yi couldn't help but be stunned. He didn't expect the Empress to agree. It's incredible. It seems that he has some weight in the Empress' heart. In this way, you don't need to see the delicate body of the Empress, as long as you get along for a while, slowly stimulate the Empress, and finally ask to leave. It is estimated that you will be able to win the Empress. The fact did not disappoint Feng Yi. On Nine Snake Island, Feng Yi stayed for a week. Every day Feng Yi asked the Empress to take him to visit Nine Snake Island. Of course, the Empress who wanted to get close to Feng Yi agreed one by one. Looking forward to the next day every day. On the last day, Feng Yi also told the Empress that he would be leaving tomorrow. After all, he still needed to join Nami and the others. Feng Yi is leaving tomorrow. I won't be able to see Feng Yi. When she returned to her residence at night, the Empress thought that Feng Yi was going to leave tomorrow, and immediately found herself uncomfortable. It seems to be sick. Getting hot all over. The situation of the Empress was soon discovered. After the mother-in-law knew the situation of the Empress, she told the Empress that she was suffering from lovesickness. Tell the Empress that she has fallen in love with Feng Yi. Really? What should I do then? As long as I think that Feng Yi is going to leave and won't be able to see him, I feel like I'm going to die. The Queen immediately asked her mother-in-law. Why? The mother-in-law sighed, and then told the Empress about her experience. If you want to be cured, you can only face up to your feelings and can't escape. Otherwise, the final result will only be death. There are several previous Empresses on Nine Snake Island. So dead. Really, if I want to face up to my feelings, should I confess to Feng Yi? After the mother-in-law and others left, the Empress couldn't help but murmured, and then she blushed, and quickly covered her face, but she felt sweet for no reason. I will confess to Feng Yi tomorrow, but will he like me? What if he doesn't like me? No, Empress is so beautiful, Feng Yi will definitely accept me. Then the Empress was thinking about gains and losses, and she fell into a daze. At this time, Feng Yi didn't know about the Empress at all. This girl was holding Nokie's delicate body and was doing a lot of work in the room until she felt that there was an extra pink color in the universe of his consciousness. The stars. Ha ha, I finally succeeded. While sprinting around Nokie's waist, Feng Yi laughed out loud in his heart. That pink star naturally represents the Empress, which means that the Empress has fallen in love with him. Now, as long as Feng Yi confesses to the Empress will definitely accept it. How could Feng Yi be unhappy? He sprinted even more bravely on Nokie's delicate body, until Nokie's loud roars could not stop. It looks like I can't leave the Nine Snake Island so soon. If the Empress is taken over, Nine Snake Island can't be let go. In the pirate world, I don't have my own base camp yet. I'll see if I can completely conquer Nine Snake Island and establish it as my base camp. After learning that there was no problem with accepting the Empress, Teru Kongming thought to himself. Nine Snake Island is in the windless zone. Except for ships with the latest navigation technology, ordinary pirate ships cannot reach here. It would be better for Nine Snake Island to become its own base camp. However, these thoughts Feng Yi only flashed in his mind, and he continued to remain silent on Nokie's delicate body with his fragrant hips up in front of him and his back facing him. Knowing the situation of the Empress, Feng Yi vented all his excitement on Nokie until all the hot essence was poured into Nokie's tender body. Seal the leaves. Empress has something to tell you. The next day, the Empress thought that Feng Yi was about to leave, so she came to find Feng Yi early. Looking at Feng Yi, his heart beat faster and said, his eyes were a little too afraid to look directly at Feng Yi. The Empress at this time, her usual arrogant and gorgeous temperament is not so bright, but it adds some shyness and charm, and she looks even more sultry. Hancock, what's the matter? After a week of getting along, Feng Yi stopped calling the Empress, and called the Empress directly, which made it even more intimate. Looking at the Empress at this time, Feng Yi also felt that his little maple leaf had the urge to stand up, and quickly held it down. I couldn't vent my excitement last night, but I became even more restless after seeing the Empress. Empress is in love with you. Empress, I said twice, and finally summoned up the courage to look directly at Feng Yi and express what was in her heart. After speaking, she no longer dared to look directly at Feng Yi, and quickly turned her head to the side, her pretty face flushed all of a sudden. Just looking at the side face, the Empress at this time is also charming and attractive. Ah. Really? Even if he knew what the Empress was thinking, Feng Yi was still very excited when he heard the Empress speak, and confirmed to the Empress with some uncertainty. Yeah. The Empress nodded lightly upon hearing this. Then looked back at Feng Yi, looking at Feng Yi seriously and expectantly, indicating that she was not joking. Seeing the Empress nodding, Feng Yi was overwhelmed with excitement. The goddess in his heart really fell in love with him. At this time, Feng Yi only knew how to stare blankly at the Empress and forgot to react for a while. The Empress, who was looking at Feng Yi with anticipation, found out that Feng Yi did not respond after her confession, and she couldn't help but feel a strong sense of loss in her heart. She thought that Feng Yi would not accept her. It was so hard to even breathe for a moment. The heat in the eyes is surging. I see, don't bother you anymore. Then the Empress murmured a little choked up, turned around sadly, and wanted to leave, but the Empress only felt that her heart was dying. She was so sad, she wanted to cry. Tears are about to fall. Chapter 191-Confession of Success. Hearing this, Feng Yi was shocked. He sensed the Empress's emotions. How could he not know why? The Empress whom he admired the most mistakenly thought he didn't like her and wanted to turn around and leave. Hancock. Feng Yi didn't care anymore. He immediately stretched out his hand and grabbed the Empress who was leaving. If he lost the Empress, heart like this, he wouldn't have time to cry. Holding the Empress' jade hand, Feng Yi eagerly pulled the Empress into his arms and hugged her vigorously. Don't go, I love you too. After hugging the Empress tightly, Feng Yi hurriedly said. Ah. The Empress was suddenly hugged by Feng Yi, she hurriedly screamed, and when she heard Feng Yi's words, she couldn't help shaking her body and mind. The place in my heart that was originally full of gloom is now full of excitement and excitement. You accepted Empress? The Empress asked Feng Yi in surprise from a trembling voice. Being hugged tightly by Feng Yi, she felt unprecedented satisfaction. So warm, is this love? I really want to be held by Feng Yi like this all the time. Of course, from the first time I saw Hancock, I wanted you to be my woman, otherwise I wouldn't have been here for so long. Feng Yi heard the words and quickly replied. Only then did he realize that his hands were placed on the pair of stalwart jade girl peaks on the Empress' chest. They felt so full, and he couldn't hold them at all. It turns out that there is actually a vacuum inside the Empress. It's so big, so elastic, and the vacuum is still so strong. It would be so cool to have JJ in the middle. Feng Yi praised in his heart, thinking of evil. He couldn't help but kneaded his hands again. Fortunately, the Empress was silent in Feng Yi's words at this time and didn't notice. But even if it is discovered, the Empress will not be like this. Really? Great. Feng Yi accepted Empress, and Empress thought you didn't want me anymore. The Empress felt excited from the bottom of her heart, but Feng Yi fell in love with her early in the morning. Turn around. Feng Yi had no choice but to let go of the Empress. Then why didn't you tell Empress earlier? Empress also came to confess. Then the Empress looked at Feng Yi angrily and asked, if Feng Yi took the initiative to confess, she would not have to confess. What a shame. Hancock is so beautiful, she looks like a goddess in my eyes. I never thought you would like me, Hancock. Feng Yi said quickly after hearing this. Kai Guguo's lie, but the Empress just needs to listen to it. Women just need sweet words to coax her. Well. Sure enough, when she heard Feng Yi's words, the Empress was very happy again, and timidly hummed. Looking at Feng Yi in a trance, he turned out to be so beautiful in his heart. The Empress looked shy and excited, not to mention how beautiful and exciting she was at this time. Looking at the Empress at this time, Feng Yi couldn't help but lower his head and kiss the Empress' sexy lips. Ah! Not long after, the Empress screamed loudly, but at this time, Feng Yi heard the Empress' screams, but she became even more mad. The Empress was really too tempting, watching the beautiful and unparalleled Empress under her own sprint. The expression of pain, Feng Yi not only did not raise the tenderness of Lian Xiangxiu, but even more stimulated Feng Yi to carry out a more impactful bombing. Especially seeing the little bloodstains under the Empress made Feng Yi even more excited and crazy. The sprint is getting wilder. The Empress was in pain at first, and it was not until half an hour later that the Empress experienced the joy of being a woman, and the expression on her face began to become painful and happy, and then replaced by lust. No matter what the expression of the Empress is, everything stimulates Feng Yi and makes him crazy. Due to the fact that he had already shot twice quickly, Feng Yi finally showed his strong and durable side this time. He bombed the Empress for 5 hours. During this time, Feng Yi tried to pull the Empress in any position. Let the Empress try all the moves at once. Under the strong bombardment of Feng Yi, the arrogant Empress also became a slut and a woman. She only knew that she kept cooperating with Feng Yi's actions and kept asking for it from Feng Yi. During the period, she leaked it several times, and the Empress herself didn't remember it. She only knew that she was constantly being sent to the cloud by Feng Yi. The feeling was really wonderful. The Empress never imagined that such blissful things could be done between men and women. However, this half-day was just the beginning. When Feng Yi and the Empress woke up and regained their strength, seeing that the Empress still had traces of his work on her body, Feng Yi couldn't hold back and pulled the Empress to start again. Life event. In a day or two, Feng Yi had tossed on the Empress's delicate body for 2 days, and he was satisfied. On the square, Feng Yi and the Empress finally appeared on the 3rd day, and the Empress summoned all the female warriors. I called everyone here today because I have something to announce to everyone. The Empress looked at all the people from above, and said lightly, I haven't seen you for a few days. The female warriors are all looking at the Empress in strange and amazing ways. Even if they are women, they find that the Empress is more beautiful than 2 days ago. All of them are envious, and at the same time, they are curious about why their snake princess has become more beautiful in a few days. From today, our 9 Snake Island will have the Emperor, Feng Yi. He is Empress's husband, and from today on 9 Snake Island will be his. Then the Queen continued to speak. Boom! Hearing the words of the Empress, all the women on 9 Snake Island screamed and looked at the Empress in disbelief. Is this true? The Queen actually wanted to hand 9 Snake Island into the hands of a man. The female warriors below began to question one after another. How could 9 Snake Island be handed over to a man? However, under the strength of the Empress and the suppression of Conqueror Haki's release, no one dared to speak out in the end, and could only accept the Empress's absurd order to them. You don't need to panic. Haven't you always been curious about what men look like? Let men rule us in the future, and this is not without benefits. If any of you behaves well, you can get the king's favor. Chong, the king will make you feel the joy of being a woman. The Queen continued to speak. He blushed slightly. Feng Yi asked her to say this order, and when she thought of this, she spit at Feng Yi. Feng Yi said that this was to strengthen his position among the people and make everyone yearn for his favor, so that the women of the island will accept his rule as quickly as possible. What? The people can be like this? It's ridiculous. When the mother-in-law heard the words, she couldn't help trembling and shouting angrily, but she only made a sound, and under the suppression of the Empress turned her head. She couldn't say anything. Then Feng Yi appeared on the stage under the introduction of the Empress, causing all the women to keep their eyes on Feng Yi. What made all the women stare with curiosity was that Feng Yi actually came out naked. In the future, I will be your king. Anyone below who wants to try the happiness of this king's favor, which is the happiness of being a woman, can raise your hand. This king will tell you on the spot how wonderful it will be to be favored by this king. Things. Chapter 192-My King. Feng Yi also released Conqueror Haki immediately, without shocking the girls into a coma, and then said domineeringly. Feng Yi today is to let all women understand the charm of love between men and women, and then let them take his favor as a great gift. What? There is still such a thing. What's the matter with being favored by a man? I really want to know. I was favored by the king. Who will be chosen? After Feng Yi's words fell, all the women couldn't help but talk aloud, and they all became excited and curious. Except for the female warriors on the 9 snake pirates, men were too unfamiliar to them. I'm curious, let alone the fact that the color of men and women is a legendary thing for them. Now they have a chance to see it, and have a chance to experience it. It's no wonder that they are not excited. Seeing all the well-known enthusiastic and excited expressions, the Empress couldn't help being stunned. She didn't expect her people to be so curious about men and women. Looking at Feng Yi, who was not wearing clothes, the Empress couldn't help but flash a gleam in her eyes. No wonder Feng Yi wanted to act like this. Sure enough, if they were able to see the joy brought by the affairs of men and women, they would soon be able to. All the women were made to accept the fact that Feng Yi was their king. Thinking that Feng Yi was going to stage a relationship between men and women, the Empress blushed, thinking of her madness in the past 2 days. Then after the first beauties raised their hands, the curious beauties raised their hands one after another, expressing their willingness to go up and be favored by Feng Yi. Zhao Kongming looked around and found an extremely beautiful woman, with long red hair, big eyes, a melon-seeded face, a slender figure, with a convex front and back, a pair of jade girl peaks, although not as strong as a female emperor. But among all women, it is also very large. Being picked up by Feng Yi, the girl rushed onto the field excitedly and came to Feng Yi. Being able to be selected by Feng Yi, she was excited, curious, and very happy. So many people raised their hands, and Feng Yi actually chose her. She didn't know that Feng Yi saw her beauty. King. The beauty looked at Feng Yi and quickly said respectfully, now Feng Yi is their king. What's your name? Feng Yi gently issued, and then asked him, a pair of eyes looking at the beautiful woman in front of him with fiery eyes. Feng Ling, who is 23 or 4 years old, looks both beautiful and full of mature enchanting, which makes Feng Yi's sexual interest also change. Got stronger. When I looked at Feng Yi recently, I realized that the other party looked very much like Lin Jilin, a female star that Chiru Kongning had seen on Earth. After finding this, Feng Yi felt that Vivi's mouth was dry. If you go back to the king, my name is Irene. After hearing Feng Yi's question, Irene couldn't help but said, but only at this moment did her beautiful eyes carefully look at the giant dragon under Feng Yi. Curious, is this the difference between men and women? When it grows, it comes out with a stick. What is it for? Eileen. Nice name, as pretty as you are. Feng Yi heard the words and boasted without hesitation. Okay, Aaron, take off all your clothes. Then Feng Yi ordered to Irene. Yes, my king. Irene was not shy when she heard the words, and after a respectful response, she quickly took off all her clothes and threw them on the ground. A perfect body is displayed in front of Feng Yi. The white shoulders, the skin like suet, the big and straight jade girl peak, the slender and smooth slender legs, and the black forest in the middle, all hit Feng Yi's eyeballs. The dragon under Ling Yi immediately bounced off a few times. Close your eyes, don't move first, just let me spoil you. Feng Yi then opened his mouth and said, it is great to be the king of Nine Snake Island, such a beautiful woman can get on if she wants to, and she will not resist herself at all. Feng Yi feels very fulfilled. Yes, my king. Irene nodded and said, although she didn't know why, she still closed her big eyes obediently. She still regretted not being able to continue watching the dragon under Feng Yi. Seeing that Irene was completely letting him ask for it, Feng Yi was no longer polite. He stepped forward and took Irene's delicate body in his arms, holding Irene's sweet buttocks with one hand. It was placed on Irene's jade girl peak and kneaded, and her mouth was also printed on Irene's delicate lips. Woo! The tender body was suddenly attacked, and Irene murmured immediately, instinctively wanting to resist, but after remembering what Feng Yi had just said, she remained silent and let Feng Yi play with her tender body. In less than a while, Irene felt a wonderful feeling coming from her delicate body, which was very comfortable, making her delicate body a little weak. What a beautiful feeling! Is this a matter of men and women? Erin couldn't help but wonder. She thought that she was being favored by Feng Yi, but she didn't know that the good show was still to come. All the beauties in the square stared wide-eyed at Feng Yi groping on Irene's delicate body, watching curiously, thinking that this is the case for men and women. Ah! What? The king's stick was meant to be inserted into Erin's. But when they saw that Feng Yi was about to enter Irene's body, they all exclaimed in surprise. This was something they had never thought of before. It turned out that the man's stick was used like this. Feng Yi didn't care about the reactions of the girls at this time, he just wanted to enjoy the Irene in front of him. Under the gaze of countless beauties on the island, the fiery giant dragon Feng Yi broke into the secret realm of Irene's Taoyuan. The tight squeeze made it a little difficult for Feng Yi to enter all of them. Ah! Pain! Irene didn't expect that the wonderful feeling just now disappeared suddenly, and the only thing left was tearing pain. Made her cry out in pain. To impress all the women on the island, Feng Yi paused his movements after entering Irene's body. After Irene got used to it, Feng Yi began to move vigorously. Unprecedented happiness gradually made Irene begin to groan loudly. In the eyes of everyone, Irene also showed a scene of happiness to the peak. That blissful expression, the cheerful roar, all made all women yearn for curiosity, and being favored by Feng Yi, is it really that happy? In less than half an hour, Irene was knocked unconscious by Feng Yigan. In order to let all the women remember, Feng Yi then chose a few extremely beautiful women to go up, pamper them one by one, and bloom for them. Chapter 193 _ The whole island is mine. The whole morning, Feng Yi spent in opening the buds for the women on Nine Snake Island. For the whole morning, Feng Yi staged a scene of love between men and women in front of all the beauties on Nine Snake Island. Women, each of them are extremely beautiful beauties. On the bodies of 9 women, Feng Yi fully showed the charm of men, and let all the beauties know how happy it is to be favored by their king. In fact, there is no need to say more about Feng Yi. Seeing the happiness of every woman who was favored by Feng Yi when she was favored by Feng Yi, the ecstatic sound of the waves already made all the women begin to yearn to be able to get Feng Yi's favor. Yi's favor. After seeing that the effect has been achieved, Feng Yi also temporarily stopped the development of the beauties on the island, and executed 9 beauties in one day, turning them from young girls into young women. Feng Yi is already satisfied. The rest is still reserved for later time. Of course, only decent women Feng Yi will be lucky. Although there are not many ugly women, there are still some women on Nine Snake Island. Don't think about those women, unless they lose weight and become beautiful, otherwise Feng Yi will not move them. This is a matter of principle. Brothers, little Feng Yi only enters the body of beautiful women, not beauties are determined not to enter. Coupled with the promotion of Feng Yi's emotional fruit ability, in just one day's effort, all the people on Nine Snake Island accepted the fact that Feng Yi became their king from the bottom of their hearts. And they are all excitedly looking forward to when they will be favored by Feng Yi. In the next few days, Feng Yi first opened all the women on the 9 snake pirates, except of course the Empress, 2 sisters. Feng Yi wanted to let all the people on Nine Snake Island know that in order to get his favor, he would have a better chance of being selected into the 9 snake pirates. They are stronger than force, and then they became more diligent, which also made the overall strength of 9 Snake Island quickly improve a grade in the future. Feng Yi had been enjoying himself in these 10 days, but outside, Feng Yi's killing of Tenryubito caused a great disturbance. For the first time, Feng Yi's name was remembered by all Marines and pirates. Although Feng Yi offered a reward of over 100 million before, not many people knew about it, especially in the New World. But now, even the pirates in the New World know all about Feng Yi's mission. Dare to kill Tenryubito, something they didn't dare to do. Everyone can't help but admire Chi Feng Yi's courage. Of course, the smarter ones are full of pity for Feng Yi's actions. In their opinion, Feng Yi's actions are simply too idiotic. Killing Tenryubito, the consequences can be imagined, and he will definitely be pursued by Marine with all his strength. Afterwards, they put their minds on a good show and waited for the development of things. At the same time, Feng Yi's bounty was raised again for killing Tenryubito, and he became a pirate with a bounty of 300 million Bailey. Although Feng Yi has not received the news, but he can guess it. Therefore, after Ju Snake Island was stabilized, Feng Yi planned to leave, otherwise, Ju Snake Island would definitely be implicated. Although Ju Snake Island has become a force of Feng Yi still does not want to let people outside knowledge. No, Feng Yi, you are being hunted down by the Marine government and the government because of Empress. Empress will face it with you. After knowing that Feng Yi was going to leave alone, the Empress who had received the news from Marine immediately disagreed with Feng Yi's behavior. Even if she died, she wanted to face Feng Yi together. In her opinion, Feng Yi has no chance of escaping, and with Feng Yi's current strength, it is impossible for him to be the opponent of several major Marine admirals, so she feels that it is enough to be able to stay happily with Feng Yi these days. The rest can be together for one more second is the greatest happiness for her, so the Empress does not want Feng Yi to face it alone. Hee, Hancock, you don't think Marine can do anything to your husband, do you? Feng Yi couldn't help laughing when he heard the words, and immediately heard the pessimism in the Empress's voice. He is not so pessimistic. Marine wants to capture him. How easy is it to say that if he starts phantom drifting at sea, no one can catch him? Moreover, it is not Feng Yi's character to run away, at least it is to fight and then run. Of course, what Feng Yi needs most now is to improve his strength. He has already figured out where to improve his strength, and at the same time, Marine can't find him. At this time, Feng Yi, of course, didn't want to return to the Blood Dragon so quickly. Nami and the others would be in danger. On the contrary, if he didn't go back, the girls would be safer. Feng Yi was not there, and neither would the admirals. They will arrest Nami and the others and threaten Feng Yi. However, just in case, Feng Yi still instructed the Empress to bring Nami and the others to Nine Snake Island first, and wait until Feng Yi's strength is enough before setting sail together. Enter the new world. Empress is just worrying. The queen hugged Feng Yi and said coquettishly, no matter what Feng Yi said, she was still worried. Okay, Hancock, you should believe me. The little marine is still in his sights. Feng Yi could only say with a straight face, the Empress was silent, and if she said it again, she didn't believe Feng Yi, and she wouldn't dare to make Feng Yi angry. Stop talking about that, Empress, I have something for you to do first. Feng Yi said to the Empress with a smile. What's the matter? The tattoo on your back, I will re-tattoo it for you and change it into the logo of Nine Snake Island. Feng Yi smiled and said, I hope this will clear the Empress' fear of Tenryubito even more. And every time we love each other, it is a little uncomfortable to see the tattoo on the queen's back. Change her to the best, just like Nami, just change the tattoo again. After talking to the Empress carefully, the Empress immediately became excited, thinking to herself why she hadn't thought of this before. If she changed the tattoo, with her strength, she would no longer be so afraid of Tenryubito. Then Feng Yi asked the maid to bring the tattoo tools, and then helped to modify the tattoo on the back of the Empress, covering the original mark belonging to Tenryubito and replacing it with the appearance of Nine Snake Island, with 9 snake bodies added next to it. Let the Empress's delicate body look more full of temptation. As for the Empress' 2 older sisters, Feng Yi asked the Empress to help them make corrections when she had time. After helping the Empress to re-revise the tattoo, Feng Yi couldn't help throwing the Empress on the bed. Before leaving, let's go crazy again. Feng Yi went crazy on the Empress, and didn't want the Empress to give up when the time came, so Feng Yi went straight to the Empress until she passed out, and then quietly drove the Phantom to leave. Snake Island's words are not good for the Empress and the others. The reward amount has reached 300 million Bailey. Tisk tisk, this upgrade is quite fast. On the Phantom, Feng Yi remembered that after his bounty had reached 300 million Bailey, it was not VV Isho. However, my current strength may be difficult to defeat even the big pirates who offer a bounty of 200 million. It's a little out of place. With such a high bounty, I don't have the same strength. Not to mention Marine, some big pirates who don't open their eyes will want to come. I can't get past it. The only way now is to improve your strength as soon as possible, and avoid Marine's pursuit by the way. If you are proud of your strength, you don't have to be afraid of them. When you stand in front of them, you won't dare to touch me. Thinking of his current situation, Feng Yi murmured and analyzed it. Chapter 194 The Fury of the Gorosei, 5 Elders. Since that's the case, it's better to go to Sky Island to improve your strength while avoiding Marine. Immediately, Teru Kongmei said the destination he was going to this time. That's right, it was Sky Island. The existence of Marine was completely eliminated on Sky Island, and naturally he would not be pursued by the other party with all his strength. I don't care what method you guys use, this Feng Yi must die anyway. Tenryubito's dignity cannot be found blasphemy. The world government and the government, an old white-haired Tenryubito yelled at the Gorosei, 5 elders angrily. It is too unforgivable that someone dares to kill Tenryubito. He will never allow such a thing to continue. Feng Yi must also kill him. Otherwise, Tenryubito's majesty and status will be shaken. People in the world will think that killing Tenryubito is actually fine. Tenryubito is human like them. The old man Tenryubito will never allow such a thing to exist, and Tenryubito should maintain an inviolable tall image in front of everyone. So for the maker of this incident, the Tenryubito boss used the most severe tone to threaten the Gorosei, 5 elders and must kill Feng Yi. Faced with the wrath of Tenryubito, the Gorosei, 5 elders had no choice but to agree. In their world conquests, they have always been in charge of maintaining the dignity of Tenryubito. This Feng Yi kid is too troublesome, and he was questioned by Tianver. It's really unpleasant. I suggest that 3 Marine Admiral be dispatched and let them work together to kill this kid. After old Tenryubito left, one of the Gorosei, 5 elders with the sword spoke up. Second, I wanted to see if I could recruit the other party, but that kid actually messed with Tenryubito, so there's no way. Second, although Tenryubito has fallen, The world needs the descendants of these kings to maintain the authority of the world government and obliterate the boy Feng Yi. Second proposal. Second proposal. After the Gorosei, 5 elders spoke, the other 4 Gorosei, 5 elders were all seconded. What? The 3 admiral teamed up. You look down on that kid too much. Okay, I see. Act now. After receiving Sengoku's appointment, Kizaru couldn't help but scream in surprise, but knowing that it was the appointment of Gorosei, 5 elders, he could only obey. In his opinion, to obliterate a Feng Yi, where did they need the 3 marine admiral to be dispatched together? He only needs with one more finger, the opponent can be wiped out. Got it. Promise to complete the mission. Akainu's attitude after receiving the appointment is obviously much better, but judging from his eyes and tone, it is obvious that he doesn't take Feng Yi to heart at all. I see, I see. Kuzan didn't expect to receive another appointment about Feng Yi, so he couldn't help but say out loud, about Feng Yi's phantom, only he knew, if Feng Yi chose to run away instead of fighting, they would be considered the 3 marine admiral together. It's also very difficult to make a shot. Kizaru can match it in terms of speed, but the phantom's own defense is very difficult. Sky Island. Feng Yi didn't know that Marine 3 Admiral had already accepted the order to kill him at this time. At this time, Feng Yi was going on top of the phantom at full speed. To get to the Sky Island, you must first reach Jaya Island, only the rapids leading to Sky Island. Take advantage of the rapids to be washed directly into the White Sea at an altitude of 7,000 meters. Hey, going to Jaya Island is a problem. Then Feng Yi sighed again. Without Nami, a navigator, Feng Yi didn't know how to get to Jaya Island. If he wanted to find Nami and the others before, he could go to going based on the feeling of emotional fruit. This time, no one could feeling it. Sanakon, you find a way to take your pirate group to Jaya Island. In the end, Feng Yi only dialed the phone bug over there and told the Sha pirates to go to Jaya Island. The entire Sha pirates were extremely grateful and admired for Feng Yi. Emotions. If they arrive at Jaya Island, Feng Yi can also go to Jaya Island through emotional induction. Feng Yi didn't dare to let Nami and the others go to Jaya Island. Feng Yi had already asked Nami to take the blood dragon to an island. The Empress should also go to that island now. After the confluence, the Empress will bring the blood dragon. Go to 9 Snake Island first. Of course, Nami and the others have no objection, because they also know that it is better for them to hide at this time, otherwise it will definitely drag down Feng Yi. Maybe Marine will arrest them to blackmail Feng Yi, make Feng Yi appear, and everyone the girl didn't want Feng Yi to be in danger, of course, just obey Feng Yi's words. And being able to go to 9 Snake Island, a unique island that exists in the Windless Belt, the girls are also full of curiosity and excitement. Knowing that Feng Yi is the new king of 9 Snake Island, they are even more excited. Even Nico Robin, because she remembered that there was also a historical document on the island of 9 snakes. After instructing the pirates to kill, Feng Yi contacted one of his pirates, the Michelle Pirates. The Michelle Pirates' sailing route also passed through Jaya Island, and found that Michelle was only separated from Jaya Island. After an island station, Feng Yi asked Michelle and the others to go to Jaya Island as soon as possible. As for the instant kill, Feng Yi had to tell him no more. Then Feng Yi sensed the location of the Michelle Pirates, and it was going at full speed. I believe that by the time he arrived, Michelle and the others had already arrived at Jaya Island. Anyway, the emotional wave of the Michelle brothers could not be wrong. Target found. The target is suspected to be heading towards Jaya Island. Determine the direction. The goal is to go in the direction of Jaya Island. At the target speed, Jaya Island will be reached within 2 days. In Marine Headquarters, the information about Feng Yi's operation was reported one by one, and soon Feng Yi's information about Jaya Island going fell into the hands of Marine 3 Admiral. Jaya Island. It's just not far away, and it should be able to reach Jaya Island in 2 days. A new pirate actually wants Ben Admiral to shoot, causing me to run around, and then you have to have fun and kill you. Kizaru was the first to get the news, and after an indignant scolding, he went to the direction of Jaya Island. "Have you finally found the target? 2 days, just right." Then came Akainu, his eyes also shining with cold killing intent. "Jaya Island. How did that kid go there? It is rumored that there is access to Sky Island. Does that kid know the existence of Sky Island and how to get there?" Only Kuzan, without the optimism of Kizaru and Akainu, can know that Feng Yi is a very scheming and prepared person by playing against each other, and will not kill Tenryubito rashly. There must be some purpose in going to Jaya Island. Chapter 195 Jaya Island. But then Kuzan let out a chuckle. Sky Island has been a legend for decades, and no one has been able to go up there. People today don't believe in the existence of Sky Island. If Feng Yi can find a way to go up, that is also true. His luck. 2 days later, on the plain of Jaya Island, a cool red shadow appeared, and it was Feng Yi who drove the phantom to Jaya Island. "It's only been 3 days since we set off from Nine Snake Island. It can be seen that the speed of sealing the leaves is fast." Of course, Feng Yi didn't know that Kuzan and the others were going to Jaya Island by going straight from the windless belt, and there was no change in the weather. However, although he did not know that Kuzan and the others were coming soon, Feng Yi knew that Kuzan and the others had come to hunt down and kill him together. It was obtained from the Empress. Of course, the Marine government asked the Empress Feng Yi's whereabouts at first, and the Empress asked. There is no doubt that others have spoken out about Feng Yi's disposal. The Marine government still doesn't know that the Empress has become Feng Yi's woman, and that Nine Snake Island now belongs to Feng Yi. A lot of Marines have found me along the way. They should know that I am coming to Jaya Island. We must quickly find the place where the death torrent that will burst into the sky is located, otherwise Marine 3 Admiral will come, and I will also wait to finish the game. Quote. Feng Yi secretly said in his heart, watching Jaya Island as approaching quickly. "Where is the death torrent?" asked the islanders on Jaya Island to know. When Feng Yi entered Jaya Island, it inevitably caused a sensation. "Look, that's Captain Feng Yi with a bounty of 300 million Baileys. I didn't expect him to come to Jaya Island. Yeah, I can't believe that Captain Feng Yi dared to kill a Tenryubito. It's so strong. Before I walked in, I could feel a huge momentum that was overwhelming. This is the man who offered a reward of 300 million Bailey, so handsome and cool." Seeing Feng Yi walk into the island, the islanders and some pirates above all looked at Feng Yi from afar in amazement. Of course, as soon as Feng Yi approached, they dared not continue to discuss. I don't even dare to brag. Who knows how Feng Yi's temper is? If he offends the other party and gets killed, he will be wronged. Feng Yi ignored everyone's reaction and continued to go. He wanted to go to the nearest tavern to find someone to take him to the sea where Death Torrent would appear, and at the same time ask anyone who knew the time and frequency of Death Torrent. Soon, after smashing 10 million Baileys in the tavern, Feng Yi invited a person from the island, and he knew exactly when Death Torrent appeared. "Captain Feng Yi, let's talk about it first. I will only take you to the sea where the Death Torrent appears. Today is the time for the Death Torrent to appear, and I don't know when it suddenly rose into the sky, so I can't go there." Jia Luolu said to Feng Yi that he could earn 10 million Bailey just by taking Feng Yi to a place. He was very excited, and the other party was still offering a reward of 300 million big pirates. But for the fear of Death Torrent, he still said it first. At the same time, he was also very curious in his heart, not knowing why Feng Yi wanted to find it there. "No problem, as long as you take me to the surface of the sea where the death torrents will appear." Feng Yi heard the words and replied indifferently. After leaving the island, of course, Zhao Lu was driving his own boat. He led the way in front, and Feng Yi followed behind. Set off to the sea where death torrents will appear. And not long after Feng Yi set off, on the ferry of Jaya Island, 3 figures were almost colleagues appearing on it. Kizaru, Akainu, Kuzan, 3 Admiral arrived at Jaya Island at the same time. When Marine 3 Admiral entered Jaya Island, it undoubtedly caused a huge sensation to the islanders and pirates on the island again. "That's Kizaru from one of Marine Admiral. God. That's a Kainu Admiral. Isn't he that Kuzan Admiral? Marine 3 Admiral actually appeared on Jaya Island together, wouldn't it be for the Captain Feng Yi just now? It's so strong, Marine 3 Admiral standing together, that momentum makes me almost out of breath. Help! Facing the appearance of Marine 3 Admiral, the islanders were shocked again. Run! All the admirals showed up, and 3 of them, damn it! Who are we hot? Compared with the excitement of the islanders, the pirates on Jaya Island were even more shocked. They all fled here desperately. What a joke, Marine and Admiral are all here. They killed them here, although they guessed that Admiral's purpose was to come for Feng Yi, but they didn't dare to stay in place. Death Torrent. Why did the kid go there? Soon Kizaru and the others learned that Feng Yi had been here, and that Feng Yi had inquired about the location of Death Torrent in the tavern. Whoosh whoosh. After knowing the purpose, Kizaru and the others flickered and disappeared into the tavern, heading towards Feng Yi's direction. Did their questioning in the tavern also let the people inside clearly know that Marine 3 Admiral came to seal the leaves? This news spread quickly after Kizaru and the others left. When the news spread that Marine and Admiral had attacked Feng Yi together, the whole world was boiling. Countless pirates were stunned and horrified. What kind of international jokes were made, and they were attacked by Marine and Admiral together? I am afraid that even Whitebeard, the world's strongest man, would have to weigh it up. Feng Yi's reputation has also resounded further. Apart from pirates, even Marine doesn't know Feng Yi's name. The whole world has been boiling for a long time because of this news, and they are even more eager to know the final result, but there is no result, and there is no news about Feng Yi. Everyone took it for granted that Feng Yi had no chance of surviving under the interception of Marine 3 Admiral. Of course, all of the above are things to come later. At this time, Feng Yi has already arrived in front of the sea that Jiao Lu said, that is, the sea where death torrents will appear. It's here in the front. Jiao Lu looked at Feng Yi and said, his eyes full of admiration looking at the phantom that Feng Yi was sitting on. It was so handsome. If he had such a sailing vessel, he would be willing to live less than half his life. Here's 10 million Baileys. When Feng Yi heard the words, he directly threw 10 million Baileys to the other party, and then drove the phantom into the sea in front of him. He also didn't tell Jiao Luduo that, for some strangers, they are small roles, and they are not considered a role model. Of course, Feng Yi is not interested in talking with him. Jiao Lu is also very interesting, and after getting the money, he will go back. It's just that he was guessing in his heart, what did Feng Yi want to do when he ran up there? Is it suicide? Ships swept up into the sky by the torrent of death have always ended in smashes, and no one has come back alive. Chapter 196_block. I can't see any difference at all. I hope that guy didn't lie to me. Feng Yi was lying in the car, looking at the blue sky and white clouds and couldn't help but murmured. He sensed that the other party was not deceived at all. It proved that there was no problem, and he was just talking about it. It's boring to wait for the torrent of death to rise into the sky. Well. However, after waiting for less than half an hour, Feng Yi's expression changed as Vivi's expression changed. His eyes opened instantly, and 2 rays of light flashed by. Kuzan's mood is fluctuating, and there are 2 people together. One of them is rushing over here faster than Kuzan. Feng Yi murmured in his mouth. His tone was full of bitterness. Just thinking about it, Feng Yi knew who was coming. Besides Marine 3 Admiral, who else could be? Nima, the speed is so fast. I have just arrived. Marine's intelligence work is really too bullwhip. Teru Kongmei let out a low curse, stood up from the car, and looked in the direction where Kuzan and the others burst into flames. But before he was there, Feng Yi saw that the seawater under his car started to freeze. In less than a while, the sea surface in Feng Yi's field of vision was completely frozen. Nima, wait until the death torrent will not be blocked. Seeing this, Feng Yi scolded again, but then denied it. No matter how strong Kuzan is, it cannot be stronger than the power of nature. The sea surface is frozen into ice, which is at most a few meters thick. Since the death torrent can rush up to 9 kilometers, Going above the height, it is not a problem to break through the ice layer more than 10 meters thick. I just don't know, under their attack, will I be able to hold out until the death torrent rises into the sky? It seems that I have to try my best to delay the time. Who knows when the death torrent will explode? Feng Yi thought quickly in his heart. Kai. And when Feng Yi was thinking about it, a light and shadow shot at Feng Yi quickly, and came to Feng Yi in an instant. Then the light and shadow disappeared, and a figure appeared in front of Feng Yi. Feng Yi knew at a glance that it was Kizaru, one of Marine Admiral. Tisk tisk, I finally caught you, arrogant brat. Seeing the target, Kizaru couldn't help but tut isho, and sneered at Feng Yi very arrogantly, as if Feng Yi had become meat on an iron plate in front of him. Let him slaughter. Kizaru, one of the Marine Admiral, is really famous. It's better to meet famous. Hearing Kizaru's sneer, Feng Yi smiled and boasted of Kizaru, but the boasting was a little bit more damaging. It's better to be famous when you meet, that is to say, Kizaru looks really bad. Humph. Kizaru's face darkened instantly. Little devil, you are courting death. Kizaru said coldly, and a wave of light shot at Feng Yi. Kai. However, before Kizaru's attack could reach Feng Yi, it was blown away by the peeling off on the phantom. It landed on the sea ice layer on one side, and immediately blasted it out of a small hole, and the seawater sprayed out from it, but then it was quickly iced. Well. Seeing that Feng Yi's phantom actually blocked his attack unscathed, Kizaru's eyes finally flashed with surprise, and he let out a surprise. Don't look at him just casually attacking, but it was also a light attack. Generally, nothing can do that. Block it without breaking it. I don't believe your ships can stop my attack. Kizaru sneered, and in the wave of his hand, several beams shot up at the phantom. Chi chi chi. Contrary, without exception, all of Kizaru's attacks were deflected, and Kizaru's face became ugly. He didn't expect that Marine Admiral would make a move, and Feng Yi couldn't help him if he didn't sit still. Where does his face go? Feng Yi, who was sitting in the car, was finally relieved to see that Kizaru's attack was ineffective. Although he had guessed after Kuzan's attack last time that the phantom's defense was very perverted after passing through, now he saw that under Kizaru's attack. It's okay, he's sure. This made Feng Yi, who had planned to escape at any time depending on the situation, suddenly felt at ease. As long as he was in the phantom, Kizaru would not be able to help him for a while. And as long as Kuzan and Akainu arrive, Feng Yi still has some unique skills to perform. Haha, old monkey, I think you should not waste your energy, you can't attack me. With the confidence of Feng Yi, he laughed out loud at Kizaru, and directly called Kizaru the old monkey. Damn brat. When did Kizaru hear someone insulting him, the old monkey? His face changed, and he was extremely gloomy. Now, even if it is not for the appointment, he must obliterate Feng Yi. Whizzing. At this time, Kuzan and Akainu, two Marine Admiral, also appeared. Looking at Kizaru with a livid face. The two of them were somewhat puzzled, and then they looked at Feng Yi, who was sitting in the phantom with Yi Yi. Hey, Admiral Kuzan, I didn't expect to be hunted down twice by you in less than half a month. It's such an honor. Seeing that it was Kuzan and Akainu, Feng Yi couldn't help laughing softly. Facing the siege of Marine 3 Admiral, not only was he not afraid but nervous, but instead looked proud and proud. It's mainly because you are too troublesome, kid. Kuzan looked at Feng Yi, and Isho like a friend meeting. Kizaru, why haven't you done it yet? As for Akainu, after just taking a look at Feng Yi, he asked Kizaru indifferently, without looking at Feng Yi at all. He was still wondering why Kizaru didn't kill Feng Yi when he arrived first. He didn't even know that Kizaru had already done it, but it didn't work. Kizaru's face was embarrassed when he heard this. Of course he wouldn't say that he had already done it. Haha, do it. This old monkey has already done it, but it's nothing to do with me. If Kizaru didn't say it, it didn't mean that Feng Yi wouldn't say it. Seeing Kizaru's face embarrassed, Feng Yi laughed and laughed. She looks so insane. It's just that Feng Yi is happy, but Kizaru's face is even more ugly. Kuzan and Akainu were stunned when they heard the words, and then remembered that the old monkey was talking about Kizaru, with an expression of wanting to laugh but embarrassed to laugh. While laughing, the two of them were secretly surprised. They didn't expect that Kizaru had already started, but it seemed that there was really no way to get Feng Yi. Okay. This king has no time to chat with you, an old monkey, a mad dog, the three of you want to kill me, right, so hurry up and do it, this king is so impatient that he wants to die, just to solve your tricks. Quote. Then Feng Yi said to the three of Kizaru with an impatient look, as arrogant as possible. This time, not only Kizaru's face was ugly, but even Akainu's face became gloomy. Only Kuzan couldn't help but dare not laugh. Feng Yi's mouth is too cheap. Just. I like it. Haha. Chapter 197 Kizaru_. Kuzan laughed in his heart. It was the first time he saw Kizaru and Akainu's faces as if they had eaten poop. Kill. Kizaru didn't say anything. Akainu shouted coldly first. After he finished speaking, Akainu rushed towards Feng Yi and smashed his fist towards Feng Yi. A burst of red fire shone on his right fist, his entire arm was covered with lava, and a powerful scorching heat spread from above. Come through. Watching Akainu make his move, Kizaru didn't move. He wanted to see if Akainu's attack would have any effect on the phantom that Feng Yi was sitting on. Of course, Kuzan was the same, but he remembered that his ice power was not very lethal to the phantom. Boom. Under the gaze of Kuzan and Kizaru, Akainu's arm turned into lava slammed into the phantom's glass. A loud bang resounded, and a burst of energy burst out from it at the same time, and exploded around. Akainu, the phantom ruthlessly moved a few meters to the right, but under the attack of Akainu, the phantom still did nothing and was unscathed. Blankly at the unscathed phantom, Akainu glanced at his right hand in amazement. Could it be that his powerful attack power is gone? Humph. A mad dog is a mad dog, and it doesn't even say hello and bites. Seeing Akainu with a surprised expression outside, Feng Yi couldn't help but snorted coldly, full of sarcasm, but in the bottom of his heart he didn't mention how proud he was. Although he couldn't beat Admiral, but Phantom was in his hand, no one understood him, this feeling it's awesome. Damn 1 inch. Akainu just scolded and attacked Feng Yi again. He didn't believe that his attack would not even be able to do anything to the boat Feng Yi was sitting on. Kizaru, who were on the side, also looked at each other in horror, and then started together, attacking the Yifengdong. They have already dispatched all 3 prizes together. If they can't complete the task, it will be a shame. Chi-chi. Hiss. Akainu's attack under the wave of the 2. Boom boom boom. Under the joint attack of the 3, the phantom was blasted back and forth again and again, looking extremely tragic. However, the phantom's anti-attack and defense level still exceeded their expectations. Under the joint attack of the 3 of them, the phantom still had no damage at all. The 3 Kuzans at this time can no longer be described as surprised, they can't believe it. Haha, aren't you Marine 3 Admiral? What kind of attack is this? Does it tickle this king? Sitting inside, Feng Yan even laughed out loud. Humph. Since you have nothing to do with me, I have no choice but to take action. Then Feng Yi snorted coldly, it's not his character to sit and be beaten, even if he can't defeat the Kuzan 3, he has to make them embarrassed. Body of rage, come out. Then Feng Yi looked at the 3 of Kuzan and gave a low drink. In an instant, on the bodies of the 3 Kuzans, their angry clones appeared. He flew in front of Feng Yi all of a sudden and blocked the 3 of them. Haha, attack that old monkey with all your strength, don't worry about the other 2. Then Feng Yi ordered to the 3 Admiral's angry clones. He would not deal with one of them, so it was definitely not the opponent of the deity. The 3 angry bodies shot at Kizaru together, maybe they could kill him. Even if it can't be done, it can make him embarrassed. Hearing Feng Yi's words, the faces of Kuzan and the 3 of them changed, especially Kizaru's. At this time, he was no longer angry that Feng Yi called him an old monkey. Feng Yi's ability to make enemy clones has long ago I know, but I didn't expect Feng Yi to be able to copy the three of them at the same time this time. And they are all Admiral level strength. Such three angry bodies attack him together. Kizaru is horrified to think about it. Whoosh whoosh. However, the angry bodies of the three Admiral ignored Kizaru's fear, and upon hearing Feng Yi's order, they rushed towards Kizaru together. Kuzan. Akainu. One for me against one. At this time, Kizaru didn't care about the problem of face, and immediately asked Kuzan and Akainu for help. Feng Yi, who was sitting inside the Phantom, watched the Admiral-level melee outside with a happy mood. After Akainu and Kuzan helped, the situation that Feng Yi expected that Kizaru might be in danger of death did not appear, but it made Kizaru embarrassed. After the 5 minutes passed, the body of anger disappeared, but the three of Kizaru stopped, and they did not dare to go forward and continue to attack Feng Yi. If the other party summons their body of anger again, they still have to play, although they also feel that Feng Yi can't use it again in a short time. But there is still a problem in front of them, that is, their attacks can't hurt Feng Yi, or they can't break the phantom that Feng Yi is sitting on. Such rash actions are obviously in vain, so they must think of a way first. Just do it. The three of you look at me, I look at you, until there is an electric current between the three eyes, they still can't do anything. Sitting in the phantom, Feng Yi seems to be in an invincible state of ignoring attacks. The three of them hated Feng Yi so much at this time, but they had a way to get Feng Yemu, not to mention how embarrassed it was. Ha ha, Marine 3 Admiral, that's all. The three of them didn't move, but Feng Yi laughed out loud. Anyway, most of the three of them came here to kill Feng Yi, and Feng Yi didn't need to save some face for them. Boom boom boom. At this moment, the originally calm sea ice layer suddenly swayed, and the rumbling sound resounded. It's Death Torrent. Almost at the same time, Feng Yi and Kuzan knew what was going on, but Feng Yi was excited. Kuzan and the others felt inexplicably panicked. They also knew about the Death Torrent. It's strange to be nervous, because being hit by the sea water, they are equivalent to finished. They are all devil fruit powers. Come on. Feeling the shaking of the ice layer, they knew that the torrent of death was about to break out. As soon as Kizaru opened his mouth, the three of them shot back at the same time. This time, no one paid attention to Feng Yi, and it was more important to save their own lives. Boom. And just when they retreated a few hundred meters, the death torrent finally broke through the ice layer and rose into the sky. Feng Yi was in the middle of the death torrent, and of course, he was brought up into the sky with him. Ha ha, Marine 3 Admiral, goodbye, next time we meet I will settle accounts with you. And Marine Headquarters, the world government. Feng Yi's voice resounded at the same time. Chapter 198-Action failed. The three of Kuzan didn't have much expressions on their faces when they heard this. They were not afraid of Feng Yi, and they didn't take Feng Yi's words seriously. If Feng Yi dared to come out of the phantom, they believed that any of them could kill Feng Yi. They didn't have much doubt about Feng Yi being thrown into the sky by the torrent of death and saying goodbye next time. They had already seen the power of the phantom. No matter how strong the torrent of death was, it was useless. Just like this, their pursuit of Feng Yi has failed. Go back and return to life. It's the action that failed. Kuzan said lightly, stepped on his bicycle and left. Kizaru also turned into a burst of light and left, although they were unwilling to admit it, but they knew they had failed. Akainu glanced gloomily at Feng Yi, who was swept away by the death torrent, and then slowly walked back. The ice layer on the sea can support a week, even if it is affected by the death torrent for a day. There is still no problem, enough for him to walk back slowly. What? The action failed. Feng Yi was rushed to the sky by the torrent of death. Are you sure he won't die? When the news came back, Sengoku was equally shocked, and then he could only pass the news back to the world government headquarters, Gorosei 5 elders. After the Gorosei 5 elders heard the news, there was no follow-up order. The three admirals had all missed, and it would be the same if they sent someone there. Besides, the other party was hit by the death torrent, and he didn't know whether he died or not. Just tell the old man Tenryubito, Feng Yi forced into the death torrent, it is enough to be shot into the sky. Although there is no increase in the bounty for Feng Yi on the surface, because they are not sure whether Feng Yi is dead or not, raising the bounty will only let the world know that their pursuit has failed, but secretly Gorosei, 5 elders have already blocked Feng Yi. There is a danger of Yi Lai's first-level kill. The next time he shows up, he will definitely increase the bounty for Feng Yi. Just being able to attack from the hands of 3 admirals is not something that a pirate with a bounty of 300 million can do. The old man Tenryubito thought that Feng Yi was really killed, and happily boasted about the Gorosei, 5 elders. It made Gorosei, 5 elders depressed again. Be subordinated as a junior. Although it is obvious, it is not a matter of minutes for them to destroy Tenryubito. Just cannot, so only depressed. Marine 3 Admiral S pursuit of Feng Yi came out, but no news came out in the end, which indirectly made the world's discussion about Feng Yi stronger. Some people thought Feng Yi had been killed, some people thought Feng Yi didn't die. Feng Yi's reputation is also getting bigger and bigger. The world's emotional fluctuations towards Feng Yi were all transmitted to Feng Yi immediately. Feng Yi, who had already appeared on the White Sea, felt that the universe of consciousness was constantly being nourished by countless emotional fluctuations conveyed by him. Feng Yi could clearly perceive the rapid growth of his emotional fruit ability, which soon improved twice as much. This is an amazing effect that Feng Yi himself did not expect. It seems that being noticed by the world is also a good thing. I will go back and do some earth-shattering things in the future. This is the fastest way to improve my fruit ability. Feng Yi, who discovered this phenomenon, couldn't help but exclaimed overjoyed. In the past, he only used himself to influence the emotions of the people to achieve the purpose of improving the ability of emotional fruit, but now it is directly affected by people all over the world, but Feng Yi didn't think of it before. But now that I know it, Feng Yi certainly won't let such an opportunity pass, it's simply an invincible cheater. After going down, what Luffy did in the past, making a riot at Impel Down, Marine Holy Land, and headquarters, all these can make Feng Yi as perfused by the world. I believe that after a series of series, the world's emotional fluctuations towards Feng Yi will be stronger. Thinking of Feng Yi, she couldn't wait to go back, but she couldn't do it now. Sky Island has already come, of course, she has to make a great masterpiece. Half a year has passed, and the world's discussion of Feng Yi has gradually faded away as Feng Yi disappeared. Maybe everyone thought that Feng Yi had died under the pursuit of Marine 3 Admiral. After all, it was Marine 3 Admiral who took action, and Feng Yi was only a pirate who offered a reward of 300 million Baileys, so there was no reason to be spared. So far, 2 years have passed since Feng Yi went to sea. In Windmill Town, Luffy also appeared on the sea in a small boat. Luffy went to sea. As for Zoro, it has already entered the Great Voyage a few months earlier. Nami is already a member of the Maple Leaf Pirates, and Usopp has long since left the place. It is very likely that he has died in the Hei Sea. Without the original partner, can Luffy enter the Great Voyage? The road has become a problem. Shanks, here I come. And Feng Yi, I know you're not dead yet, I'll catch up with you soon. However, Luffy was not worried at all on the boat, but was full of confidence in going to sea. Just to greet Luffy, it was a wave of waves. Luffy was forced to hide in a wine barrel like the original, and let it drift. As for whether it was so lucky to be picked up, it is unknown. Feng Yi, are you coming back tomorrow? Really? In Nine Snake Island, Nami screamed in surprise to the phone bug in Jade Palm, obviously very excited. Feng Yi has been on Sky Island for half a year, and he is finally coming down. In the past 6 months, Nami and the others were all parked on Nine Snake Island. Knowing that Nine Snake Island was sealed by leaves, of course they were not reserved, especially when they knew that the Empress was also a woman who sealed leaves. There are so many beautiful women on the island. After being Feng Yi's reserve women, they felt even more cordial and soon integrated into the island. During this period of time, the Empress has also been exercising the strength of the girls. The fruit ability of the girls or their own strength is very potential. During the training of the Empress, everyone's strength is progressing rapidly. For the use of fruit ability, at least it has reached the second level of proficiency. Nami's weather fruit has reached the realm of subtlety. Even if the queen is against Nami, it is difficult to guarantee that she will win. These, Feng Yi, who can be contacted by phone bugs on Sky Island, knows everything, and everything Feng Yi is on Sky Island, the Empress and the others also know. Feng Yi was on Sky Island for half a year. Not only did he accept a few beauties, but he also defeated the original god Enlil and became a god on Sky Island. It's just that Feng Yi was not as dictatorial as Enlil, but took the initiative to allow the angel residents to live peacefully with the people of Shandia. Feng Yi naturally became the god who ruled them. Through the ability of emotional fruit, Feng Yi also allowed the island to live in peace. All the residents on the sky agreed with him and were willing to serve him, and Feng Yi also took the entire Sky Island into his palm. In addition to Nine Snake Island, Feng Yi has another power, and it is also a sky island that the world government cannot match. Feng Yi also only defeated Enlil in the middle of last month. Enlil's lightning ability is extremely powerful, and the use of fruit ability has long been at the micro level. Feng Yi also made great progress in strength a month ago, and the use of emotional fruit has also reached micro only after the realm can defeat Enlil. Chapter 199 Sky Island. From this, Feng Yi learned that Luffy's pig's foot halo in the original book is really too big. Enlil is so powerful that he can defeat Enlil before Luffy has developed the first gear, second gear and third gear. Enlil's strength is not weaker than Marine Admiral. Maybe it's really Luffy, but it's a rubber fruit just to restrain Guro Guro no Mi, Rumble Rumble fruit. Taking the entire Sky Island in his hands, Feng Yi didn't think about what he would do with the power of Sky Island for the time being. He just left a way out for himself. If he couldn't get along in the blue ocean, he might quit the pirate's item in the future. After a great career, you can also bring women to live in Sky Island. After all, Sky Island is still very beautiful. It is not known to the world, and Xanadu is not an exaggeration. Luffy should have already gone to sea. It's time to go back. After Feng Yi finished chatting with Nami and the others, he walked out of the temple of Sky Island and looked at the white sea below and murmured, Feng Yi also missed Nami and the others very much. That afternoon, after talking to the people on the island, Feng Yi sat in the Phantom and drove directly under the White Sea, slammed into it, passed through the White Sea, and fell down at a terrifying speed. Haha, it's really cool. Feeling the excitement like jumping off a building, Feng Yi couldn't help laughing out loud. Marine government, here I am, you wait to take on my wrath. Feng Yi shouted loudly, but no one could hear what Feng Yi said. Now my strength can be defeated against Admiral level Kuzan and the others. With Nami and the others, there is no need to fear anyone anymore. No matter who wants to move us, it has to be Wade, and it is time to follow the Marine government, and the pirates have shown the strength of the Maple Leaf Pirates. Enies Lobby is the first target for the Maple Leaf Pirates to show their strength. After arriving on the Nine Snakes Island, let the Burst Bear Pirates, the Michelle Pirates and the Killing Pirates meet at the Enies Lobby. The fact that they are the pirates of the Maple Leaf Pirates, don't be afraid to let the world know. If you want to show your strength, show it to the end. Feng Yi smiled again and again. Of course, Nine Snake Island and Sky Island are his powers. Feng Yi will not show it so quickly. It is still beneficial for the Empress to continue to be one of Shichibukai. After destroying Enies Lobby, it is Impel Down, where there are a lot of powerful pirates waiting for me to conquer. These are all things that Feng Yi has long thought about. The display of power has made the Maple Leaf Pirates famous, and then they go to Impel Down to release those powerful pirates. With a strong reputation, it is easier for them to surrender. It is better to grow your own power. For now, the power of the Maple Leaf Pirates is still too weak. Apart from the strength of the individual, it is not worth mentioning, and the power of the individual is so powerful that the world still does not know it. The Maple Leaf Pirates are probably the same. Knowing that Feng Yi has a bounty of up to 300 million, none of the other members have over 100 million, so naturally they won't get the attention of truly powerful people. Boom! The phantom shone with red light under the sunlight, fell from the sky, and fell to the sea like a meteor, and suddenly smashed waves more than 10 meters high on the sea. Feng Yi finally returned to the blue ocean. The next journey will be even more exciting. Reported to the headquarters and found that the figure suspected to be Captain Feng Yi passed by the XXX island. Report to the headquarters, it has been confirmed that Captain Feng Yi has appeared again. Report to headquarters, Captain Feng Yi has finally entered the windless zone. In the Marine headquarters, the news about Feng Yi was once again passed to the Marine headquarters. The news was not found until Feng Yi entered the windless zone. After entering the windless zone, Marine's intelligence personnel could not find out the whereabouts. I didn't expect that he really didn't die. After receiving the information about Feng Yi's appearance, Sengoku couldn't help but let out a loud voice, and there was not much surprise in his tone. After learning the detailed information of the three Kuzans, he felt that Feng Yi would definitely not die, just Feng Yi. Yi's news really made him curious for a long time. I once thought that Feng Yi was dead. Since they are not dead, what will Gorosei, 5 elders and Tenryubito do? Sengoku murmured, and then passed the news of Feng Yi's reappearance to the Gorosei, 5 elders, and Tenryubito didn't need his report yet. Sure enough, he didn't die. He escaped safely from the hands of the 3 admirals half a year ago. It seems that his appearance this time is obviously because he has stronger confidence in his own strength, otherwise he wouldn't disappear for half a year before appearing. When the Gorosei 5 elders got the news of Feng Yi again, one of the Gorosei 5 elders with the sword squinted and said, "Then what should we do now? What should we do with this kid? If we don't respond, the old guy from Tenryubito is probably going to come and scold us again." Another Gorosei 5 elders then spoke up and said the key question. "Increase this kid's bounty first. Let's take a look at his next moves. Even 3 admiral can't take him down, and we can't catch him if we send people. This kid, it's not anymore. We can move at will, as long as it doesn't threaten us. Don't move him temporarily. That old guy Tenryubito let him make trouble, we just ignore it." Another Gorosei 5 elders spoke up, speaking out about a problem that was ignored by others. The words fell, the Gorosei 5 elders were silent for a while, because it was a fact, not to mention the strength of Feng Yi half a year later, even Feng Yi half a year ago would not be able to move. "That's the only way to do it. Can you tell me how much the bounty should be placed on him?" One of the Gorosei 5 elders was the first to speak after a silence. "Look at the other 4. 500 million Bailey. Since we can't take any hands to deal with him, there is no way to stop this kid's rise, then let's let the pirates in the New World deal with him." One of them has been the most silent one of the Gorosei 5 elders suddenly spoke up, eyes gleaming sinisterly. "Ha, yes, that's the best way. Raising his bounty to 500 million Bailey, there will naturally be some pirates who don't want to see him grow up. It's better to be the 4th emperor." Immediately one Gorosei 5 elders haha isho echoed the road. When the other 3 heard the words, their eyes lit up and they were full of smiles. This is really a good idea. When Feng Yi's latest reward list was scattered all over the world, a new earthquake storm finally swept across the world again. How is it possible? Isn't this Captain Feng Yi killed by the 3 marine admirals? Why did he appear again, and the bounty was as high as 500 million Baileys? What did he do? Terrorist, a pirate is emerging, and the bounty is as high as 500 million before entering the New World. I admire it. I really deserve to be my idol. I have decided that Captain Feng Yi must accept me, and I will also become a crew member of the Maple Leaf Pirates. Really strong. Is this just an 18-year-old new pirate? It's too strong. I can't believe it. So young is already a big pirate with a reward of 500 million Bailey. Chapter 200 _ shock the world. Fuck, this Captain Feng Yi is still not here, so bullwhip. Countless people who saw Feng Yi's latest reward list all exclaimed in amazement, some envied, some admired, and some cursed. Interesting, this time it's really worth my effort. You don't need me to look for you, you should come to me too, right? I'll just wait for you. Hawkeye looked at the reward list in his hand, and a look of surprise flashed in his eyes, and then smiled happily. Feng Yi is also a swordsman, and his strength is finally strong again, which also makes Hawkeye arouse the desire to fight. Feng Yi had suffered losses in his hands before, and even ran away in embarrassment, so Eagle Eye concluded that, without him going, Feng Yi will come to him to settle accounts. This is the pirate. If there is revenge, the eggs will explode. HMPH. This kid is really in the limelight, just find an opportunity to destroy his prestige. Another person in the Great Voyage Road snorted coldly while looking at the reward list in his hand. He was one of Shichibukai's sea hooligans. Before he became Shichibukai, he was a big pirate with a bounty of 300 million Bailey. By now, no one knows what his strength is like. When High Rogue saw that Feng Yi's bounty was the same as his, he was already unhappy, and now it's even higher than his original, and he's still so young, so of course he's even more unhappy. There was a gloomy light in his eyes. Haha, well, there is finally a stronger opponent among the pirates. And there is still a lot of room for improvement. Yes, this time I won't be lonely anymore. Red-haired Shanks looked at the bounty in his hand. Sean, but he laughed out loud. I just don't know how long it will take for that kid Luffy to reach the height of this kid Feng Yi. Then Shanks murmured again. He had very high expectations for Luffy. Feng Yi, this kid is really unbelievably strong. Smoker, known as the White Hunter, looked at the bounty list in his hand and was also amazed. He thought that Feng Yi would rise, but he didn't expect to rise so powerfully. Facing Feng Yi, he found that he no longer had the confidence to defeat Feng Yi. Not only them, the Great Voyage Road and the New World, too many people have paid attention to Feng Yi, and the various realizations are not shown one by one. In short, they are all very shocking. It's just that Feng Yi didn't know this at all. Feng Yi was rushing towards the direction of Nine Snake Island. After entering the Windless Belt, Feng Yi finally saw 9 snakes in less than a day. The island of Snake Island is up. Nami, Hancock, Robin. Feng Yi murmured excitedly, see the girls soon. My king, that is my king is back. My king. At the beginning, a group of 9 Snake Island guards found Feng Yi from a distance, the captain exclaimed, and brought a group of people to Feng Yi, and immediately knelt on one knee in front of Feng Yi respectfully. He lowered his head and didn't dare to look at Feng Yi, but his lowered eyes shone with excitement. We haven't seen them for half a year, and finally saw their king come back. Get up. Seeing this, Feng Yi couldn't help but faint Isho. The feeling of returning to 9 Snake Island is really cool. It should be said that Wang Shuang, who has become a daughter country, is right. The few female warriors in front of him are all beautiful women. As long as Feng Yi is happy, he can take the postgraduate entrance examination and enjoy them anytime, anywhere. It's just that Feng Yi is no longer in this mood, and what he wants to see more in his heart is Emperor Nami and the others. Yes, my king. Several women responded, and then all stood up. Continue to go in the direction of the palace, and the guards quickly follow. My king. My king. As Feng Yi entered the palace, more and more soldiers were respectful when they saw Feng Yi. Feng Yi also signaled one by one, and soon came to the palace. Feng Yi. Feng Yi just entered the palace, and a red-hot figure rushed up. It was the first time that Feng Yi knew that Feng Yi had returned. She was the first to know that Feng Yi was back, and only then did Nami and the others inform them that they were all training hard. They don't want to be a burden to Feng Yi anymore. Hancock. Holding the Empress, who became more and more hot, Feng Yi also murmured and looked down at the Empress. Her lips couldn't help but kiss the sexy lips on both sides. Woo. The Queen just murmured, and she responded enthusiastically to Feng Yi's kiss. She also missed Feng Yi so much that she was going crazy. If there were no phone bugs about to contact her, she would kill her on Sky Island. Then Feng Yi and the Empress kissed passionately on the palace, and the guards around them just looked at the Empress with curiosity and envy, and there was no blushing expression on their faces. For them, being able to get Feng Yi's favor is the greatest happiness. The more Feng Yi and the Empress kissed, the more affectionate they became. Then, under the envious gaze of the guards, Feng Yi took off the clothes of the Empress and himself. Standing in the palace, he suddenly started to do something important in his life. Ah! The Empress's contented and carefree groan resounded in the magnificent palace. When Nami and the others felt it, they were also frightened by the scene in front of them. Unexpectedly, the two fell in love directly in the palace, but they dared to do this in the square outside before Feng Yi, let alone in the palace. Did not feel anything. Saw Feng Yi, they couldn't care less after exclaiming. They also wanted to scare Feng Yi off. Nami and Nojiko sisters, who were more relaxed, took off their clothes to join the party. In the battle between Feng Yi and the Empress, their adoptive mother, Belle Mir, immediately joined the circle of love. Then came the lonely Shiyu and Yushin. Seeing their mother join, Kuina, Tashigi and Kaya were no longer shy and joined the battle circle. Then Robin, Zala, Dispenny, Princess Vivi, all the women of Feng Yi joined in. For a time, the palace that was originally full of solemnity became a paradise for Feng Yi and his woman. And the maids who were originally in the palace were also blessed, all of them were favored by Feng Yi. It wasn't until 2 days later that Feng Yi and the girls completely vented their thoughts for the past 6 months. My king, what should we do now? Haven't we been out of the sea?